and just decided to catch them on fire, which is not the way we treat our neighbors. So I'm going to be speaking to the police department in just a moment, and I'll try to give them as much detailed information that I have so that we catch the perpetrator and to show that we are serious about having safe streets in our community. Mentioning that, we did hold a National Night Out activity last night at the Rose Hill Recreation Center. We had a strong support from about 6 different communities,
Just a point
including
of order,
Montecito
please.
Heights.
Sir, don't say we. This was not an LA 32 event. It was,
Means myself. I'm not addressing this on behalf of the board. I'm an individual and I'm speaking to you guys during my board members announcement. But maybe I should say then, Anthony Manzano held a great activity last night. The Rose Hills community came out and we had hamburgers, steaks, hot dogs, pizzas, fish tacos, ribs, and a bunch of other good food for the neighbors that Anthony, spent my money for to treat my neighbors. Maybe if it wants to be that way, I did propose the neighborhood council to support the community, and it's a pity that they did not host a local community event, much like the stakeholders requested. The last and final announcement is there will be upcoming meetings in the community regarding the bridge, which is the Soto Bridge removal project. There'll be some traffic reconfigurations coming shortly, and then the next project after that will be the landscape and mural or artwork that will be implemented as part of the Soto Bridge removal project. And the county supervisor, Hilda Solis, did honor the Rose Hills community with a beautiful, when I saw this, I almost brought tears to my eyes, very beautiful commendation from Hilda Solis, our county supervisor. Thank you.
thank you. Do I have any other board comments? Go ahead.
I attended a meeting from LA, City of LA, trying to propose bridge here as a historical zone. That was held on July 21st, and I believe there's another final meeting tomorrow. I don't have the details. They're supposed to send me an email. I haven't received it yet. But this is a proposal map. I'm gonna give it to Jan for them to post it, just in case if somebody has a question or has a concern regarding the proposal.
Thank you. Anybody else? Moving right along, scheduled announcements and presentations. Do I have any? I don't think I do. I haven't gotten any last minute anything. Oh, okay. Moving right along. Public safety, LAPD.
Yes. What's up?
It's nice to see you.
How's everyone doing? Well, I know the usual, right? Where you been on vacation? Right here. But my partner, Officer Holguin, I believe was here last month. He kind of gave a little brief overview, if you will, some of the things that are happening. I know there was an incident at Ascot Park, but detectives are still investigating that, and as of now, they don't have any real solid information to go on as far as that sexual battery that occurred up there. But there hasn't been anything since that occurrence. Nothing else has happened out there. My understanding is the only kind of things have been going on is kind of like in the auditorium area. I guess sometimes you have people hanging out, occasionally involved with drinking, maybe a little marijuana use. So we have asked to have a little extra control in those areas. I shared that side with Officer Cassini, and he's on vacation. So as you can see, we try to spread out our vacation, so we're not all on vacation. Just real quick, I have to head over to Summer Night Lights in response to our comment on the National Night Out. I apologize that we couldn't be here for that. As you know, it's beyond really our control. The captain and beyond, it goes at the very top, and they decide where they want to have the National Night event. I know that we had several areas reaching out to us, wanting to have kind of like their own little march, but as you know, we're kind of thin, so to have officers at every event would be very, very difficult to do so. So maybe by sending that letter up to Arcos, maybe that will,
He's very angry right now.
maybe he'll
He's angry.
change things for next year. But again, it's above my
We
pay
have
grade,
four
so
in
to speak.
Northeast,
So,
and our CPAC put 1,000 ribbons all over Northeast. We have our blue ribbons. And I encourage your neighborhood councils to go buy your ribbons and put them up. It's just not for National Night Out. It's to
Ma'am, we don't
support
have
our
public
law
comment right
enforcement.
now. The officer's speaking. Sorry
And,
about that,
just,
officer.
So like I said, we'll see what they decide to do next year on National Night Out. And just the only thing really, as far as update, we did have a rash of residential burglaries off Sheffield, Winchester, that area there bordering Alhambra. Well, they caught the suspect a couple days ago. 19-year-old kid. A few years ago, I actually investigated this particular individual involved in some other burglaries. He went away for about 3 years. Everything was nice and copacetic. He got out, started being active again, and we finally were able to nail him. Well, nail him, but they actually were tying him into a few crimes. So hopefully he won't be around for a while. And he did commit some burglaries in Alhambra. So hopefully, like I said, he'll be away, put away for quite some time and won't have to worry about it. And the other thing also, I'm happy to report, knock on wood, 0 homicides, at least for the El Camino area, which is basically my basic part. No street robberies, as from the last time I came out here to the report a few months ago prior to the change. So overall, we're looking pretty good. So, anyways, someone I like.
Thank you very much for coming. We'll see you in, what, another 6 months after your next
Probably.
vacation? LAFD actually let me know that they had to leave, so I'm going to kind of keep my eyes peeled. If he gets back, then we'll, if you guys are okay with that, we'll suspend where we're at and let him make his comments, but he had to respond to a call, so hopefully he'll be able to come back and it wasn't anything too serious. Do I have a shirt here? No shirt, okay. It's so great to see a representative from the senator's office. Congressional representatives, state senators. Oh, do I?
Hi, I'm Becky with Congressman Becerra's office.
Oh, fantastic! Sorry, I didn't mean to blow past you like that.
No problem.
Wonderful.
Sorry,
Hi,
I wasn't
Becky.
sure if I was supposed to submit a card or not. But I
No,
have
you
quick
have a
round.
standing spot.
Okay, great.
Welcome.
Hi everyone, my name is Becky with Congressman Becerra's office. Today I just wanted to share that we're having an upcoming event here in El Sereno Senior Center actually. And so on August 25th from 9:30 to 10:30 we're holding a Medicare and Medi-Cal information session. So if you have any questions regarding how Medicare and Medi-Cal works, I would welcome you to come to our event. It's the community is welcome, and we're going to have light refreshments and speakers to talk about those two important programs. I will have flyers coming out soon. If possible, I can share with the board, and if you guys can help share on your website or social media, that would be really helpful. But if you have other questions, feel free to let me know. I'll be here for a few more minutes, and so that's all I have for today, but thank you so much for having me.
Great, thank you very much. It's very nice to see somebody from Congressman Becerra's office here. Thank you. Unless I get some objection from the board, I'm actually going to reopen public comments very briefly. Yvonne Lopez, is this for, was this for general public comment?
Yes.
Does anybody object to going back to public comment for a moment? Please go ahead. You have, and fire's here too. Fantastic.
Hello, yes, I brought some flyers. My name is Yvonne Lopez. I represent Calvary Chapel here in El Sereno on Poplar Boulevard. We're going to be having a concert and car show, and I am connected with an organization called Forgotten Children, and what we do is we help stop human trafficking. It's a really bad thing that's going on around the world, all over Los Angeles, San Diego, just different areas. We have 9 park clubs coming in. It will be right here at the Korean Church on August 20th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So anyone that would like to come and join us, even some of you from the LA 32 Neighborhood Council, we would love to have you come and join us and be a part of it. We're going to have bands, but like I said, all the funds that we bring in will go out to help Rachel's house. Rachel was a 16-year-old girl that was caught out of human trafficking, and She was put into the home, which the pimp came and pulled her back out, and they found Rachel dead in a dumpster at the age 16 because she was pregnant. So my heart goes out to these girls. They're trapped. It's the ugly thing that's going on right now in the world.
Thank
So,
you very
thank
much.
Thank you all.
Before I go on to,
There was one item, since you opened a public comment, I got here late, I'm sorry.
sure, absolutely, we can have one more public comment.
Okay, I guess I'll do it from here. One of the things I wanted to bring out is...
Sir, sorry, what is your name?
Okay, Robert Guevara from Eagle Rock, and we got the different council in Eagle Rock. But, I know several people here, I mentioned the other meeting. But anyway, what I wanted to bring up was that the LAPD Sergeant Jim Parker was the person involved with the item in Van Nuys where the woman that was an actress, anyway, she claimed that they were stopped because of racism and so on. He had recorded the stop or the incident on his own personal audio recorder. And so that situation festered and a lot of tension was raised until he released that KBTMZ. And the truth came out that she was lying and it was a totally different situation. But the LAPD, because he released that tape without their permission, and they had a copy of that, but they sat on it. And so if you recall, this was at the time of Ferguson and everything was really starting to be pretty much like powder cake. And so she lost all her support after the truth came out. And right now, this is already 2 years ago, but the Ethics Commission for the City of LA is starting to
Thank you, sir.
to enforce a $10,000 fine. They want to get a $10,000 fine or let him plead guilty for $2,500. And the point here is that instead of the LAPD making him a hero at that time,
Thank you, sir.
the city council, none of the city council nor the mayor have spoken out in support of him, and then I see a real lack of justice in that entire situation.
Thank you very much, sir. I actually, before I fire you up next, but I have a quick question. Mr. Johnson, I've got I've got 3 from you.
What's for?
I'm sorry?
What's for?
Well,
down, three
one
to
you've
go.
already, but the 3 that you still have, I just want a point of clarification before I move ahead.
One of clarification is that
Sir, I have a question,
If I can
sir.
sit down?
No, actually, sir, I just had a question. You've already spoken during public comment, and you have 3 other questions. So you have one for the second point on old business, is that correct?
that is correct.
One for public safety, meaning when the Public Safety Committee speaks? Is that
That's
correct? Okay. I just wanted to clarify that you get a chance to speak. Thank you, that's all. Sir, Fire Department,
Yes, ma'am.
it's all you.
Well, like I told you earlier, my name is Gene Benarchik. I'm a battalion commander. Usually work at Metro Fire Communications downtown. Today I'm working over in the Eagle Rock Station 55 in Battalion 2. Nothing new to report on, except that I did leave some flyers in the back about the hot weather we've been having lately in the cooling centers and how to take yourself out of heat during the course of the day. There are cooling centers out there. If you know anybody that needs to go cool down, there's some right around this immediate area also. No real significant incidents in the last couple of weeks that I know of. I'm working our dispatch center, I don't know. But we did have a unfortunate circumstance a couple nights ago up in Sunland, Tahunga. Cannot stress upon your folks in the neighborhood, your neighbors, family, friends. We lost two elderly citizens up in Sunland, Tahunga Sunday night. If you any home that you live in, please put smoke detectors in there, whether they're battery powered, hardwired, anything, just for the early warning system in the event of a fire in your home. It was an unfortunate circumstance. Had they had smoke detectors, probably could have saved them. But it's happened all too many times in the last couple of years. It's something we just, every time this happens, we try to go blanket the neighborhoods out and make sure that awareness is out there about the smoke detectors. Also, you can see on the side of the fire engines and the fire trucks and the ambulances going up and down the street every day. We're really pushing for a big recruitment effort in these next couple of years. LAFD.org tells you everything that you need to know, everything that some youngsters may want to know about the fire department and what you have to do to get involved in a career in the fire service. Questions?
Anyone have any questions?
Thank
You're the
you.
lucky one. No questions. I was calling for CERT, and I don't see any CERT here. We had already, let's see, worked down through. California State Senators, do I have any state senator representation? Mr. Gama, it's all you.
Good evening. My name's Roberto Gama. I'm here on behalf of Assemblymember Jimmy Gomez. I just wanted to share an event that we're going to be having later this month. I know I've brought it up before. It's our paid family leave information session / resource fair. Next Saturday from 10 to 12, we're going to be having an info session on paid family leave, what it is, how Assemblymember Gomez passed the bill to expand it, when it's going to go into effect. And we want to make sure that people are aware that this is a program they already pay into. So we want to make sure that they're taking advantage of something that they're already contributing to, right? We're also going to have health resource organizations there. They're going to be providing resources, testing. So come on down and join us. I have some flyers in the back. If there's any state issues that we can be of service, please let us know. Other than that, thank you so much. Any questions, actually?
Questions?
I have a question. He failed to make mention, because our staffer, Stephanie, mentioned it at our chamber meeting about California covered care that's going up 50%.
Stephanie Romero?
Yeah, from your office.
You know, I'm not sure what she was referring to.
The
She's our
premiums
health
are going
secretary.
up 50%.
If you have a question on that, I'd be happy to put you in
No, I
touch.
just thought maybe you'd mention that here, because some of the poor folks, I don't know how they're gonna pay that additional 50% increase for the Obamacare under California coverage.
Does anybody have any questions on that? If you do, and you don't feel comfortable bringing it up here, please contact me. I'd be happy to put you in touch with the right people. Other than that, thank you so much.
Great, thank you
I
very
have a
much.
question. What is the Assemblyman going to do about AB 109 and Prop 47? The gentlemen that were here, law enforcement gentlemen, even our first responders to LAFC, are having to handle with an increase in crime. And also, when you have crime, a lot of times you end up with situations that are trickled down into the fire department. What is the Assemblyman going to do to address the impact of AB 109, prison realignment, and Prop 47 upon the law enforcement community? And also, what is the Assemblyman going to do to speak up in behalf of law enforcement who are under siege nationwide?
So for the first point, I can go ahead and look into those issues. I'll have to talk to our legislative office up in Sacramento, but I'd be more than happy to do so. As far as the second point, what is that you'd like to see from Assemblymember Gomez? We're always open to that discussion. I'd be more than happy to have a conversation if that's what you'd like.
Well,
If the assembly member would like to have a
what is the
town hall,
Assemblyman
LA
going
32 would be
to-
more than happy to do that, but we would appreciate if we could get to LA 32 business.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for your time, and I'll be here the rest of the meeting, so if anybody has any questions or would like to talk about any issues, please let me know.
Thank you very much. Do I have anyone from the county supervisor's office? Mayor's office? Council member's office? I have your map in my car, by the way. I have your map in my car.
Hello everyone, my name is Susie Lopez. I'm a field deputy for Councilmember Jose Lizar. So just to let everyone know, the month of July is usually very slow due to council recess, but everyone's back already from vacation, and so we're excited to get back to work, okay? So just a few announcements. I did leave some flyers out in the back. I'd like to let everyone know that we are having a cleanup. So just so all of you are aware, we do have some issues regarding some homeless and RVs on Huntington Drive North from Maycrest to Van Horn. So our office is currently working on height restriction signs that should help the RVs, get rid of the RVs, and that will eventually help get rid of the homeless from that area as well, since it's been a big issue. So as I mentioned, we were on council recess, but that resolution has to go through council, so we're excited to get this up and going. But for the meanwhile, until we get that done, we do have a community cleanup that's scheduled on Saturday, August 13th, and that is from 8:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. And we are meeting at the El Sereno Veterans Monument. So we hope to see all of you there that day. I did leave some flyers out in the back, as I mentioned. And also for the El Sereno Park, we do have a movie night coming up on Saturday, August 27th, which is going to be a great event as an ending to Summer Night Lights and also as an opening to our first event after all the remodeling that was done at the park. So we're very excited about that. We don't have a flyer yet, but just so all of you know again, is Saturday, August 27th, and we're co-sponsoring with Alley 32. So that's that. And for tomorrow morning, if any of you are available, I know it's kind of last minute, but we did place this information on our newsletter last week. So tomorrow morning at City Hall at 10 a.m., there's going to be a hearing regarding the Culture Heritage Commission, which will consider establishing the Berkshire HPOZ. So if any of you are interested, just head over to City Hall tomorrow at 10 a.m. Other than that, any questions?
I got a question,
Yes.
and it was asked a couple minutes ago. On the height restrictions, if you have an RV now, would that also get that person in trouble? I mean, if you have a...
Yes.
So in a way, it's kind of like getting rid of all the RVs in the area, is that right?
In that specific area that we're targeting, yes.
So you can specifically target that, that's, my understanding now is that you can actually specifically target one little area for RV height.
Yes.
That's what you're saying?
Yes. But it goes through a lot of complaints, so it would either go through either a petition from the residents or the area, or an LAPD would have to approve it. And in this case, it was done through LAPD. Yes.
Question, it came to my attention that there was a bond money set aside for areas like Ascot Park, Hazard Park, from Gloria Molina's office when she was going out the door, supervisor. And there's projects that were being proposed, but right now, Rector Parks has put roadblocks in place to keep those projects from moving forward. What is the status of the council in terms of working with Rector Parks to move forward with using this money? This neighborhood council and past incarnation voted to support the use of money for Hazard Park, and I imagine a decision was brought before this board, they will vote for using money for Ascot. Okay, but what is the council office doing to work with Rector Parks to make sure that money is utilized within our community?
I do know that we're currently working on some improvements at the Ascot Hills Park, but to answer your question completely, I'll have to get in contact with our projects director to have more information. Anything? Yeah.
Do you have any idea, or do you know what the councilman's position is on the upcoming November ballot initiative, Prop 57?
I don't have information.
Regarding the upcoming movie nights, do you know if any councilman can support any movies being played from Great El Sereno former resident Frank Sinatra?
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
What other movies are on tap for movie nights?
Oh, what is the movie? We actually chose the movie. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
What movie? Oh, we're going to be showing Star Wars, the last one. I'm not sure. The Awaken or something like that. It's a Star Wars movie. Yes.
I'm just wondering where the council member is in terms of his overall plan for economic development and continue to revitalize the Huntington Red Corridor.
I do know that there are some improvements coming up, but I can give you my business card to provide you with further information on who to get in contact with.
I think we all want to see a presentation at some point. So
I will make sure I share that information.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you very much. City Attorney's Office? have a request for public comment before we go into our committee report. So, Mr. Johnson.
Once again, I want to thank the community members for the great Natural Night Out event last night at Rose Hills. And I have a question. When is the new Incarnation Public Safety Committee going to have a meeting so that the stakeholders could attend and can give their takes on the issues pertaining to public safety in this community? Last night was a very positive outpouring of support from very prominent members of this community. Eddie Sampion, Lisa was there, people from the Affording Council, Rose Hills Property Owners Association, Hillside Village Property Owners Association, University Village. These types of events are events that foster dialogue. Also, too, it would behoove that the Public Safety Committee work with the community members in growing these type of events. There's no problem next year where public safety and other groups committees could work on setting these up
Thank you very much.
the neighborhood council area. Thank you very much.
Moving on to committee reports. Executive committee obviously met last week to set this agenda. There's not much of a report. There was quite a bit of conversation. Just so all of our stakeholders know, we're just like Javier Becerra doesn't say, well, if you want to talk to me, come to Washington, and Jimmy Gomez doesn't say, if you want to talk to me, come to Sacramento. We certainly do not say to our stakeholders, if you want to talk to us, come Wednesday night. Certainly, we're happy to have stakeholders come, but we're all out every night, and one of the things that has been brought up this evening that came out of the executive committee was that we hear from many stakeholders that they want these meetings to move more quickly, and they'd be more likely to come if the meetings moved more quickly. So that was one of the reasons why the executive committee set the agenda in the way that it did. So that's the only executive committee report that I have right now. Sports and Rec.
Yes. So we met, I'm looking at my notes, sorry. We met on July 18th, and we made motion to...
Sorry, Jackie, usually, just to interrupt you really quickly, if you have a motion on, you don't have to if there's anything else that you want to report, but because you already have the motion, you don't have to rehash it.
So do I just tell them what we did?
You can or you can't. You can say we just had a meeting, you can do whatever you want. That's all.
We're participating with the annual Ascot Hills 5K run, and we also have 2 more events that we're planning for the whole. So we'll have 3 events for Sports and Rec throughout the year, and I'm looking forward to the next meeting that we can start planning our community fair camps and recreation day.
Thank you very much. Land Use and Development, Vice President Vargas.
Yes, we did not meet this last month, but we will be meeting this month on the 3rd Tuesday of the month. The agenda has not been set yet, but there's been a request to add the USC biomedical corridor on there, so we'll add that. And then also I'd like to add discussion of Huntington Drive and even some of our other corridors, and to get a set so we can start to talk about what economic development and what initiatives are being done, if any, and what role LA 32 should play in trying to get some economic activity going on our commercial corridor. So stay in tune for that.
Thank you very much. Beautification.
Saturday, the 13th, is our first neighborhood cleanup of this council. Everybody knows Friday the 13th is no so good, but Saturday the 13th is all good. And for those vocal members of the public that say not enough is being done, or we haven't seen enough, here's your opportunity. Come on out and help us. So we're meeting 8:30 a.m. There will be snacks and lunch and water provided. So come on out and help beautify El Sereno at the Veterans Memorial. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm guessing there'll probably be Frank Sinatra music. I'm guessing.
Every moment.
Arts and Culture Committee. Treasurer Chrysanthus.
We did meet, and you'll see that motion on the agenda later today. And we're going to try to do something with more events that are coming up as far with arts and culture. but you'll be seeing that on the agenda today. Thank you.
Membership and Outreach Committee, that's me. This is possibly one of the sort of more essential committees because it sets the tone and sort of has a little bit of a tendril in each of the committees, and it was considered incredibly important. We have assuming it gets approved today, an upcoming board retreat. And so listening to stakeholders and directors, the decision was made to, instead of membership and outreach, just sort of steaming forward with what 3 people thought we should do, we wanted to hear the board, and we wanted to work together to see what everybody wanted to do in the direction of the board to go. So that's why membership and outreach is waiting until the end of this month for the board retreat, which we anticipate passing. Public Safety Committee is also me. Let me just correct, there seemed to be quite a bit of outrage that LA 32 did not participate in the National Night Out last night that Mr. Manzano hosted on his own. Just so everyone understands, we are governed by the Brown Act. We meet once a month. We have a lot of rules and laws that we have to abide by, and LA 32 was not invited to participate. And therefore, we were, last month when we met, when we had committee meetings, we were not made aware of this. This was something that we were made aware of very shortly beforehand, and this board cannot just arbitrarily take action. And that's for a lot of reasons. You guys don't want us arbitrarily taking action. You want us to have these open meetings. So we can't participate in things that we don't have the opportunity to plan ahead for. So
You couldn't attend?
So moving right along.
You could not attend for
Ma'am,
5 minutes?
Ma'am, I was at the National Night Out. I was there.
But you didn't represent nobody from El Sereno went to Rose Hills. What a shame.
Ma'am, I didn't call for public comment.
Well, I'm making it anyways because you're a disgrace to law enforcement.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I appreciate those comments. I served honorably for 11 years during 9/11, but thank you very much for those
Excuse me,
comments.
I did 24 years with the state.
Well, ma'am, I'm not going to get in a back and forth. You're out of order. The Public Safety Committee is going to be meeting at the end of this month. Again, once we have our board retreat where all the members can weigh in. We will be listening to you guys and what you want to do and how you want to participate in this community. And then we'll be meeting shortly thereafter before our next executive committee. So, business and economics.
I'm going to close our first meeting.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much. Environmental Green Committee. Cynthia.
It says Cynthia Chair, but I'm.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Sorry
She's
about
not-
that.
She's not the person. So we're going to be setting up. a
That's
meeting.
just a typo. That's my
Sorry.
fault.
We're going to be setting up a meeting this August, and I have an eager person waiting to get going, and so that'll be on the next agenda. Aaron and I will be meeting to start with get going on this.
Madam Chair, can I just make a comment?
Oh, absolutely.
You know, one of the things that I've been noticing here in El Sereno is that there's an extreme lack of organic produce and food available. I think as the information has come out, that's extremely important. I'd like to see if there's anything the committee could do to put that on the agenda and get that done.
Can you help with that?
I can try to do what I can, yeah. Come on. Maybe so. Public safety being one of them.
I know, I understand.
Anything else, Jackie?
That's it.
Sorry about that typo on my fault.
That's okay.
Bylaws Committee. Yeah, there's Jeff.
Is this on? We had our meeting last Monday, July 25th, and we started going over our bylaws and revising them. We so far got to Article 1, 2, and I think we stopped at 3. And we also have another motion on the agenda.
Thank you very much. And hang on to that mic. Kathy Lee?
No further.
Education Committee?
Education, we don't have any announcements, but we're going to have education committee meeting soon. We haven't had one because school hasn't been in session, so as soon as it starts, we'll have one.
Fantastic, thank you very much. Budget and finance.
We continue to be transparent and we continue to email the board every time the treasurer swipes the card to purchase an amount that was approved by the board. We email it to the board members so they know that we are not passing the limit. And we continue to post it on the wall at the meetings. We don't make copies of the entire monthly report, but we always have one up there for the community to see. And then I will be projecting it when we go over the monthly report. And we always ask the board if they like one copy, we could print one, or we have one circulating here on the table as well. Thank you.
And finally, the ad hoc inventory committee.
We did purchase a new printer for the corresponding secretary, and we did tag it already and gave it a number, and it's accountable for it. And we also will be salvaging a printer from the corresponding secretary that you'll also see on the agenda for today. Thank you.
Fantastic. Moving right along, item, Mr. Manzano.
Thank you, community. I have a few requests to be placed on agenda items for these committees that we just went through the reports. I'll start in reverse, which would be item number 11, Education Committee. I'd like to have the chair place the LA 32 Neighborhood Council Spelling Bee on the Education Committee agenda, please. Another committee request, for which would be the third one, would be item number 9, Environmental Green Committee. I'd like to request that the chair from the Environmental Green Committee place the BIRP, the BURP program, Beneficial Improvement Recycling Program. That'll also be a project held by LA 32 Neighborhood Council. And then the last request for agenda setting would be for item 7. And I would like to correct the chair when they indicated they didn't have enough time. This item for the National Night Out did come before this very neighborhood council last month. They had plenty of time and decided to vote and oppose holding an event in the community. Aside from that, I'd like to ask that the Public Safety Committee agendize the illegal vending situation that we have in our community, and that we would oppose illegal vendings in our community. Thank you.
Moving on to item 7, approval of the minutes of the general board meeting. We had a miscommunication between our secretaries. I saw the email, the minutes are prepared. Somehow they did not get printed. We do have the minutes from June 14th. So we're going to vote on those, and we're going to have to table the other minutes. But again, they're prepared. Excellent job again by our secretary. I'm sorry that that somehow got lost in communication. But can I get a motion on the June 14th, 2016 minutes? Can I get a motion to approve the June 16th, 2000 minutes?
Motion to approve the June 16th?
I'm sorry, the June 14th,
June 14th
2016. I've got a motion from Director Leo. Do I have a second? Second from Jackie Carrillo. Do I have any discussion on this? Do I have any public comment? Mr. Manzano?
For item number 6, I'd like to make a correction or request that a correction be made. It indicates there that the second hyphen down, it says Treasurer Crisantes moves to approve it. And then the third one down says Director Crisantes seconded. So the correction would be someone other than the original motion or the maker of the motion has to second it. So someone else's name needs to be inserted there under the second.
Do you want to table this because we can go back to the recording and see who that second? Does anybody recall who seconded that motion? Just off the top of your head. This was when we had the special meeting for budget and finance. To approve the budget, I should say. Anybody recall? Oh, Jackie seconded it. Thank you very much. just make an amendment, go ahead, Director Manzano.
Thank you. I'm also noticing on the recording secretary's notes for items 7, 8, 9, it's very vague. It does indicate public comment and board comment. In the future, is it possible that the recording secretary can indicate at least who is speaking and perhaps a little bit of dictation on what the merits of the speaker is, so it helps provide better, accurate minutes. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
As the acting recording secretary, I believe all the, maybe not most invasive duties were performed, but as acting, the minimum requirements were met. So going forward, I'm sure the actual recording secretary will do their utmost best. So I think this point is moved.
Thank you very much. So can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve minutes?
Oh, I'm sorry. I do, I apologize. Kathy, second from Jackie. I'm gonna get a vote on that. Do I have any abstentions? Anybody opposed? 14-0, the motion passes. We've approved the minutes from June 14th, 2016. Can I get a motion to table the rest of the minutes?
I motion to table the rest of the minutes.
The approval, I should say, the approval of the rest of the minutes until we can get printed copies, so all of our stakeholders and all of our board members can see that. So I've got a motion from Jackie, second from Perla. Do I have any abstentions on that? Any opposition? Motion passes 14-0, tabling the May 4th, June 1st, and July 6th minutes until next month, when we can have printed copies for everyone. Moving on to agenda number 8, Treasurer's Report regarding LA 32 finances, discussion of possible action for approval of the LA 32 Neighborhood Council monthly expenditure report for July 2016. Can I get a motion?
I motion to move forward the monthly report of July 2016.
And a second?
Second.
I've got a motion from Treasurer Corzante, second from Director Servilis. Do I have any comments on this at all? You want to explain it, Michelle, first, or you want me to take comments?
However you like. It's up to you.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Explain.
The monthly report for July, like I said, it is hard copies on the wall, and here we are projecting it. Sorry, this is not the laptop I normally use, so I'm trying to see how to rotate it. But this is the monthly report. So this is the monthly report, and the monthly report expense for the month is.
That's firefighting ingenuity there, Miguel. You should test for LAFD.
The monthly report for July was $1,283.15. We spend in operations $1,108.15, and for outreach we spend $175, which totals to $1,283.15. $37,000 is what we start with, and when you deduct that off of for the month of July, we have a balance of $35,716.85. Now, if you want to see how it was deducted from each category, Miguel will have to put that back because I have the next sheet will be straight. This is the budget that we approved, and this is how we approved it and broke it down by categories. And if you see the red in parentheses is what the minus was. So for facilities, which falls under operations, was $758. And if you want to get details on what we spend them, the receipts are over there. For office equipment, we spent $330.20, and for outreach was For outreach, which is 200 outreach, that's the category. If you go all the way down to web maintenance, we spend $194.95, which totals to $1,283.15. And then you have the bank statements that they email to us at the end of the month, and you can compare the bank statement to the monthly report and the other sheet that I just showed you, which will show you there the subtractions is $1,283.15. So we are clear. Any questions?
Thank you very much. Do I have any public comment on this? Do I have any board comment on this? Seeing none, I have a motion on the floor with a second. I have to do a roll call vote for this. Thank you very much, Michelle.
Oh, no, sorry, I gave the wrong minutes. That's the minutes that were taken.
Sorry. Marcia Guzman? Winnie Verdugo? Yes. Keith Servillas?
Yes.
Roland Lopez?
Yes.
Me, yes. Cynthia Sandoval?
Yes.
Kathy Wheel?
Yes.
Carla Flores?
Yes.
Miguel Vargas?
Eligible.
Corinne Cruz?
Yes.
Dolores Dueñas, absent. Michelle Corzantes?
Yes.
Jackie Perillo?
Yes.
Rio, sorry. Anthony Manzano?
I approve.
Maribel Munoz?
Yes.
It's 12, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, I'm sorry, that was, yeah. 1301, the motion passes. Moving on to old business, I've got a request for reconsideration of item number 8 of the agenda from the June 1st, 2016 board meeting submitted by Director Manzano. The approval of the treasurer's report, just as a point of clarification, I need a motion to reconsider, a second, and then a vote to reconsider before we take the vote again. So it would end up being a 2 votes, but this is in essence a question about approving the treasurer's report. So I have the request for reconsideration. Do I have a motion? Director Manzano, do I have a second? Do
I
have
just
a
want to make
second
the
for-
motion to hear the reconsideration.
I've got motion to hear the reconsideration, and I've got a second from Cynthia Sandoval. Do I have any public comment on this? Do I have any board comment? I'm just going to go straight to a vote on this then. This is again to reopen something that we've already voted on, and so go back to the June minutes, and it's a question of our vote. So I'm going to make this a roll call vote. Here we go. Thank you. Is any director unclear about what we're actually voting on? Because it is sort of a procedural, and I want to make sure everybody understands. Sorry. Do you? Okay, so this is a question, we voted to approve the June 1st minutes. Director Manzano submitted, he has a right to submit a reconsideration on that, which he did. So that's been on the agenda. So this is now to reconsider that vote that we already took to approve the treasurer's minutes. So if you vote yes, it means you want to look at the treasurer's report again, re-vote on the treasurer's report. If you vote no, it's to not do that. Does that make sense, Director? Okay. Oh, sorry, Director Manzano.
Thank you. At this time, I don't believe a roll call vote is necessary since this is a non-funding item.
As the
Basically,
chair,
it's an opportunity
I chair the meeting.
to reconsider the item. And yes, we understand that you're chair, but a roll call is only necessary for funding items. But you could run the meetings the way you want. My basically saying as a discussion on this not needed a roll call vote because we're not taking a position on a funding matter at this time.
Thank you very much. I'm choosing, as the chair, to do a roll call vote. Director Guzman.
No.
Director Verdugo.
No.
Director Servilis.
No.
Director Lopez. Myself, no. Director Sandoval. You seconded the motion.
Yes.
Yes, you were confirming that, or yes, you're voting?
Yes, I'm voting.
Director Leo. Director Flores.
No.
Director Vargas.
No.
Director Cruz.
No.
Director Duenas is absent. Director Porzantes.
No.
Director Correa.
No.
Director Manzano.
Yes.
Director Munoz.
No.
2 to 12, this motion fails. On to discussion and possible action regarding stakeholder Jose Aguilar's grievance regarding the handling of the dismissal of the grievance considered during the June 1st, 2016 general board meeting. So before I call for a motion on this, let me just do a quick review for the board. And if you look further down on our agenda, we also have another grievance. All three of these grievances tie together, so we now have a grievance on a grievance on a grievance. I think that in respect to our stakeholders, I had a lengthy conversation with the city attorney who quite frankly said it was at my discretion to agendize this or to not. I chose to agendize it as I explained in our previous executive committee meeting and for the last board meeting where I wanted this to happen quite publicly. We get some criticism about some shady business that we're up to. So despite the fact that the city attorney and Dunn said that it was truly at our discretion, I wanted to give the stakeholders an absolute opportunity to share their viewpoint and why they're filing grievances. Per our bylaws, we can create a grievance committee. And so that was my recommendation to the city attorney that we do that. He said it was at my discretion. So I would like to personally call for this creation of an ad hoc grievance committee so that this can be aired in a public forum. So if any, unless someone else has an opposing motion, I would like to create that committee. And then we'll open that up for public comment. Do I have any board members that would want to volunteer for that committee? Per our bylaws, we need 2 board members and 2 stakeholders. So that's presuming that we have stakeholders that are interested in listening to a grievance on a grievance on a grievance as well. But do I have board members that would be interested in participating in an ad hoc grievance committee? Do we have any board members? Director Servilis, thank you very much for stepping up for a thankless task. I'm also willing to do it, particularly since I do want these stakeholders to see that we're being transparent and to have their voices heard. Do I have any members of the public that would want to volunteer to be on this grievance committee? Do we have any members of the public? Okay. Well, it's tough to make a motion to create an, oh, do I have a hand?
Got a question.
Oh.
What's the timeframe and how quickly do you think it'll be resolved? If it's an ad hoc, if it's gonna be an ad hoc committee that's gonna last for 2-3 months, but if it's just this one grievance.
Well, it's a grievance about a grievance, and then we have another grievance. So, but they all sort of string together. It is very much my hope that we could have one meeting. Per our bylaws, we have to be, oh, fantastic. I'm sorry, sir, what is your name? Arthur.
Madam Chair, I'm a bit quite confused. Are we moving to number 17 where you're creating committees already? Because 17 is creating committees and you're about to create a committee. But item number 2 that we're discussing has nothing to do with creating a committee. It doesn't read that because we haven't even discussed it or moved the motion forward. No one has moved the motion to hear this, and we're discussing already to create a committee.
Well, that's a Robert's Rules thing. This is just a general conversation. It's tough to make a motion if we don't have some sort of idea what we want the motion to be. So, I do have the authority to create a committee. In fact, for the record, the city attorney advised me that I could actually just create a committee. I wanted to do that very publicly and not just do it.
But even if we're discussing the committee, someone still has to move it forward, second it, and then in board discussion, you can give what you strongly would like out of that motion that we just said.
Okay. Do you have a motion then?
No, I don't. I was just saying because I hear you going into discussion on it.
I was mostly just inquiring as to whether or not we had any interest. So that was my general inquiry. It would sort of be, I didn't want to have a motion on the table and then not be able to fill the committee, so.
Madam President?
Yes.
Anybody else? I move that we suspend the rules and move 17 to number 3 of old business.
You can move that whenever you want. Yeah, you can make that. Yeah. I mean, there's not really a reason to move this. I mean, again, this is a Robert's Rules of Order conversation, which is a guideline. This is not a violation of any laws, you know. So we're just kind of having a little bit of a, I know, Mr. Johnson, we're working on it.
Will you public comment?
No, I'm not calling for it quite yet.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are there any other options other than creating a committee to deal with this?
Well, I mean, the other option is per done, we could dismiss it completely, which we had already done, which is what the grievance is about. Yeah.
Madam Chair, I still like to call point of order so somebody moves that motion because we could continue discussing it. Because we continue discussing it. Somebody has to motion it if anybody wants to motion it or second it.
Okay.
I'm just trying to make sure.
Do I have a motion to create an ad hoc? Yeah, if you want to move the motion to have a discussion and possible action, I mean,
I don't want to move it. I was just making sure that we're doing procedure correctly.
let me just ask Dunn really quickly. Do I need a motion to discuss this?
It's on your agenda to be discussed.
I know. Thank you. So I need a motion to create an ad hoc committee, which I actually don't need because I only need a motion to approve, per our bylaws, to approve the committee that I can create, per our bylaws.
I just see that that item doesn't say on there to create committee because we're creating committees on 17. So I just thought we move the motion forward first. If anyone's comfortable with it and then someone seconds it, and then we can go back to what you were suggesting, what you strongly would like out of this. But right now no one's motioning it. So it gets dismissed?
Your concerns about Robert's Rules of Order have been duly noted. Do I have a motion to, again, I don't even need a motion to create an ad hoc grievance committee for this to be dealt with, but I'm going to ask for a motion to be as egalitarian as possible. Can I get a motion to create an ad hoc grievance committee? I'm sorry.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion that we create an ad hoc committee regarding the stakeholders Jose Aguilar's grievance regarding the previous handling of a grievance that was dismissed, and the ad hoc creation of an ad hoc committee will compose of 2 board members and 2 stakeholders. Thank you.
I have a motion. Sorry, Director Manzano, just to be clear, I'd like to create an ad hoc grievance committee to deal with multiple grievances, which is what our bylaws say, and based on your motion, your motion says you want to create an ad hoc grievance committee simply to deal with this. My goal is to create an ad hoc grievance committee to deal with this as well. Okay, would you amend your motion then to create an ad hoc grievance committee, or you? Okay, so I've got a motion from Director Manzano with a second from Director Cervillos to create an ad hoc grievance committee. Do I have, Mr. Johnson, I have you already wanting to make public comment on this. If I have any other stakeholders wanting to make public comment, if you could also get up. But Mr. Johnson, I have a card from you, so please go ahead.
Point of information here. There's also another choice that this board can make in dealing with grievances, is to work with the region neighborhood councils to impanel a grievance process. That is a new policy that was put in place by the Board of Neighborhood Council Commissioners to set up regional grievance committees, so it takes the grievance out of the board and puts it in a more neutral environment. You need to look at that seriously. Okay? So it's not just you making a decision and then keeping the personalities out of it. Sometimes, but most of the time, it's better to put it in a neutral environment with objective faces that are not involved in any personal type issues. Okay? You need to look at that seriously. So please do not forget that. That is a policy that was passed this year by the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners. I would seriously recommend going that route. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do I have other public comment?
Yes, your bylaws state that you have to have a panel. It has to be made up of a list of people that are interested from the stakeholders and interested also from the members of the board. That's in the bylaws, not Robert's Rules of Order. So that tells you you have to do it here. Now, on the other hand, exactly what Scott was saying, the department has a grievance procedure. So I don't know how they're going to mesh, but I can tell you it has to be done. Now, whether or not done is going to say that to you or not, but read your bylaws. Thank you.
Do I have any other public comment? Mr. Aguilar.
Yeah. The bylaws kind of dictate pretty much if there's a grievance that informally the committee can hear the grievance out and then provide a recommendation right back to the board, and then the board provides whatever resolution up or down or whatever that goes. That's how it's supposed to work. What I'm extremely disturbed is the fact that the city attorney is providing the grievance as an option. It's like an optional thing. And there's no optional language in the bylaws. So what I want clarification on is what governs this board? Does the bylaws govern this board, or does the city attorney interpretation govern the board? Or does Dunn govern the board? Who governs this board? I'm very confused about that. There's no language in the bylaws concerning the city attorney.
Thank you, sir.
Formulation of grievances. So what I want you to do.
Thank you very much, sir. That's public comment. Thank you, sir.
Okay, well, just follow the due process.
That's what we're trying to do. Thank you, sir. Do I have any other public comment? Do I have any other board comment? Director Cervillos.
I would just like to respond. I usually don't respond to any public comment, but if there's an issue with the city attorney, take it up with the city attorney. In the issue of what's in the bylaws, where are we supposed to follow, I think we're doing that. In the interest of time, we've listened to the grievance. Now we're doing putting forward a ad hoc committee. So another level of bureaucracy doesn't solve anything. So if those are interested in getting these issues resolved, getting the work done, let's proceed with, or I would urge my fellow board members to proceed with what's already been motioned. And not drag this on anymore and have the board walk on eggshells any longer.
Thank you, Director Cervillos. Do I have any other board comment on this? So I've got a motion on the floor. Oh, sorry. Director Manzano.
Thank you. As indicated by the date on the agenda of June the 1st, 2016, which is just over 60 days ago, a relatively short period of time frame compared to how long we're going to be serving on the board. So within 60 days, on the very first day of our meeting, June 1st, a grievance was submitted. At that time, I advised the board to follow the process and follow the bylaws. Many of you guys ignored it, voted to reject it, and that brought up the grievance that is being established today.
Point of order.
Today's grievance is submitted by Jose Aguilar.
Director
and an ad hoc
Manzano, I'm
committee
sorry
will
to
be
interrupt you, but a point of order can't interrupt any speaker. Yes, Director
That's fine.
Servilis?
My fellow director calls fellow board members, guys, or ladies, vast majority on this meeting.
Duly noted. Sorry, Director Manzano, carry on. Director Manzano, can we not start
So
calling names,
check it
guys?
out.
Little bit
I
of,
guess some people are offended by their gender. So what's happening is we've had a grievance already submitted because the board failed to hear the first grievance. I advised you guys to take caution when we heard this in June. But not that we're here to argue with the grievant who's here. The process is, what we should do is establish an ad hoc grievance committee which will hear the grievance of that Jose Aguilar has submitted. But we still have to hear the grievance of Luis Sanchez and whatever third one is being submitted. So hopefully this ad hoc committee can review all of the grievances that are coming before us. And that's already, at least that I'm aware of, half a dozen within 60 days, and at least 10 complaints to the mayor's office on the conduct of this meeting. Now, what we're hearing is an abuse of power and a disservice to the community, because what we've done is we've reduced the public speaking comment to 1 minute, and I don't believe there's one stakeholder out there
this is
who is
about the
satisfied
current
with the conduct of
grievance.
this board.
Sir, you're off topic. This is
I'll
about
stay on the
the
topic
grievance.
then. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask that I be assigned to this grievance committee. It is appointment by 2 board members and 2 stakeholders. I'm sure we could find at least 2 stakeholders in the community this evening that are willing to participate, and hopefully just process is heard. What we have my notes here by the president is if you want to talk to me, we do it all the time. But obviously, what I'm seeing right now is if you want to talk to me, you only get a minute. Thank you.
Director Guzman.
Yeah, is there something time sensitive about this that has to be addressed at this current moment? Because I personally don't feel like I am completely aware of all the different options of what's specifically stated in the bylaws, of the conversation between the city attorney. And I know that we're having our board retreat coming up. Is this something that could possibly be postponed until a later time? When we can have the information?
With all due respect, it is spelled out in our bylaws, and we do have a time commitment. This was tabled because it was old business and we didn't get to it, but it is in our bylaws. There's a little bit of cherry picking about how our bylaws are being represented because there's a section prior, but it's in our bylaws. So we.
Okay, but earlier when you started the conversation, you said it was based on the city attorneys. Now you're saying it's based on the bylaws. I feel like there's not enough clarity. So
I can clarify.
If there could just be a
Sure.
little bit more clarity in terms of what we're voting on.
So-
I'm sorry.
Absolutely. So we'll go through a whole civics lesson.
I'm sorry, I was speaking, if I could just
Oh, I'm sorry.
finish
I
my
thought-
comments. I'm just saying,
I
I think
apologize.
a lot of us would appreciate the clarification of exactly what it is that we're moving forward, because there seems to be a lot of confusion.
Okay. And I can clarify that. So we are governed by the state and the Brown Act, and then we are governed by the county, and then we are governed by the city, and the neighborhood council system functions under the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment. The Department of Neighborhood Empowerment is a city department that has its own policies set by the Board of Neighborhood Councils. Okay? So that's high
I'm
school's.
sorry, this feels a little condescending. It's not
I
what
apologize. I'm just trying to explain this in the best way.
I just want to know what your conversation was with the city attorney.
I thought I was
and
speaking
what's
now,
required
Director
in the
Guzman.
bylaws. Well, the thing is a little condescending, so I did stop you.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if you could just be a little bit clear on those exact 2 points. I don't need a whole.
So, but that it is actually incredibly important because the city attorney advises the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment on all of these many issues. So if you look at our bylaws,
So that's what I'm saying, if you could go more in depth in that conversation with the city attorney, who it was that you spoke with, when, and what the questions were that
I have this tagged in
you
my
asked.
bylaws specifically. And with all due respect, Director Guzman, you are responsible for knowing our bylaws. I mean, with all due respect as well.
I'm sorry, I don't know what the conversation is you had with the city attorney because I wasn't present.
Okay,
So I
so
specifically said the city attorney.
in our bylaws, it does very much specify how the grievance process has to go. The neighborhood council grievance review process will be conducted pursuant to any and all city ordinances, policies, and procedures pertaining to neighborhood council grievance. There's some confusion about our bylaws trumping done. That's not what happens. Done trumps the bylaws. They are the city, we are the neighborhood council. So when grievances get submitted to Dunn, they review them, they review our bylaws, and they decide whether or not there's any sort of credence to these grievances. After a lengthy conversation with the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, Elise Rudin, Darren Martinez, there was a lot of conversation that pretty much said there's just not a lot of credence to these grievances. If you want to check with Tom, do you want to comment on this? I mean, if you want to sort of verify what I'm saying here?
Yeah, so then let me explain the grievance process that Scott brought up. There's two levels of grievance processes. There's a regional grievance this past year. A regional grievance panel was created. The panel was to help, neighborhood councils that had grievances, go to the neutral party to hear the grievances. But I think the issue at hand was that so what happens is that we, neighborhood council, any stakeholders can go to a grievance portal and submit a grievance. I think our department reviews the grievance, and then if we don't value it, we forward it to the board for review. And then at the June meeting, what happened was that I think the agenda topic was this: here's the option to either accept or reject that as grievance. And I think at that time the grievance was met, henceforth the complaint for that grievance. Now in the grievance process, keep in mind this is a new kind of the reason why it's back on the agenda. We kind of for your committee to review that states that the grievance before it's dismissed, the neighborhood council will go through their review process. The bylaws do govern the protocols of your grievance process, and it's certainly advises the neighborhood councils on the interpretation of the bylaws, giving advice on how to proceed. So in this case, I think the advice, I was in the conversation, the advice was given was that what we did to put together an ad hoc grievance process to address the grievances at hand.
That is what I argued for.
Right. So that's kind of the so we'll receive the grievance. So neighborhood council, so stakeholders or neighborhood council members will send us a grievance. We'll forward it to the board. The board then will go through the grievance process. Then after that, the board will decide whether to accept or reject the grievance. And the person filing grievance is not satisfied with that, then the next option would be the regional grievance process. Is that okay?
I have a question, Tom.
Sure.
And if you can just make sure, as far as, if this is the procedure, did Jose Aguilar give a petition for this? No. If it was a petition, it automatically goes on the agenda and nobody motions and we hear it automatically. Is that correct? When there's a petition, if the stakeholder gave signatures to hear this, it automatically goes on there and we hear it. He didn't. Madam Chair said she wanted to put this to give an opportunity for transparency. So it's on the agenda. So now we have to motion to hear it, don't we? Or do we just hear it? Because it is not a petition. How is it that all the other items, she asked for a motion to move forward to hear these items, and then somebody motions?
I thought you guys were in the process.
No, she didn't. We haven't motioned. We just went straight into a committee, creating a committee. So we're still sitting on.
I actually do have a motion and a second.
No, Anthony motioned to create a committee. He didn't motion to move it forward. We discuss it, and then somebody creates the committee. I just thought that was procedure. I mean, am I missing something here? Isn't it supposed to be motion to move item 2 forward? Second, now we discuss it as a board, and then Anthony creates the committee. I just thought that's how it was.
Yeah, the challenge is a discussion of possible action regarding stakeholder agreement. So, for the practices discussion, thank you for the.
Yeah, I just wanted to be sure. I mean, so then
It's
we don't.
It's it's on the agenda.
No, I know. I mean, I'm not trying to say that we shouldn't listen to it. No, we should or not. I just wanted to be clear. Because now when we get to item 3, 4, 5, obviously, the chair is always gonna ask, I need a motion to forward this to hear it, then somebody motions second, then we discuss. It's just that I didn't hear that procedure for number 2. It was just Anthony motioned to the grievance and second by Keith, but it was never motioned forward to first hear it, discuss it, and then a grievance committee goes from there. And I just wanted to clear that up. I would just,
You could do it, Chair, if you want to go through the process, but I'm saying that, but because, I hear you, but based on discussion and possible action, that would allow you to form a motion regarding this grievance issue here, which means that one of the actions is to form a ad hoc committee, because you're under discussion and possible action. So I mean, your concern is that you need a motion, you need to move it forward to here.
I'm actually I'm not quite sure what, it sounds to me like you're concerned that we started talking about it, specifically that I gave some back information. As the chair of the meeting, that's my job, to give some information about what's on the agenda.
I'm just trying to avoid a grievance, that's it. I was just trying to avoid a grievance.
At that point, we'd have a grievance on a grievance on a grievance. Is that right? A grievance on a grievance on a grievance on a grievance? I mean, we're creating an ad hoc.
Discussion and possible action, which allows you to take an action on this item, whether we, to create a grievance or,
I mean, if there's a grievance, then we've got theoretically an ad hoc grievance committee about to be approved.
So then if the item does not read discussion and possible action, then somebody motions that item to move it forward. So you're telling me if the word discussion and possible action was not on there?
Well, then you guys can't take action on the item on this agenda. It's not a violation. If you guys take an action on an item that's not discussion and possible action. Right?
So then how would you handle if it just starts that alley 32, blah, 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 number 3? That we just say alley 32, we just start discussing it and vote on it? Or does somebody move a motion forward? Number 3.
Number 3, motion.
Somebody moves a motion forward, we discuss it, and then we vote? So for number 2, nobody made a motion to move forward, it was just create a committee.
Point of clarification, please read the section on the grievance in the bylaws out loud.
But, I mean, you answered, I just thought I was pointing out something. We've been doing it like that, and it just changed for number 2, but, I mean, that's fine.
So Chair, if you wanted to go ahead and.
That's fine, however you want to run it, I just wanted to make my point across.
Okay, I've got discussion and possible action regarding stakeholder Jose Aguilar's grievance regarding handling of the dismissal of the grievance considered during the June 1st, 2016 General Board meeting. I've got a motion from Director Manzano with a second from Director Servilis that we create an ad hoc grievance committee. Do I have any opposition to the, I'm going to just call for a vote on this. Do I have any abstentions to the ad hoc grievance committee?
To not create it?
To create it.
To create it.
Yeah. Do I have any abstentions on that vote? Do I have any opposition to that vote? So I've got 14-0-0 that we're going to create an ad hoc grievance committee. I'm doing this in 2 votes to be super transparent about this. Right now I've got myself, Director Manzano, Director Servilis, Art Garcia. Do I have any other stakeholders that would be thrilled to participate in this process?
I would be thrilled, except for my grievance. I can't do my own grievance. Yes.
Wait, so I don't understand, is that are you volunteering,
No,
Mr.?
I'm letting you know, I'm gonna file a grievance, but as long as I can participate on the one that I'm not involved in, I'm willing to be on it right now.
Do I have any other stakeholders willing to volunteer to be part of the grievance? Okay, so I'm going to appoint, I can't appoint 3 directors per our bylaws. I can only appoint 2 directors, so I'm going to appoint myself, Keith Servilis, and Art Garcia to the ad hoc grievance committee. Do I have any public comment on that? Do I have any board comment? Oh, I got a hand.
Yeah, I would like for you to read the grievance section in the bylaws out loud. And the reason I'm asking for this is because it specifies that the grievance addressed to LA 32. It does not have any language that dictates to be addressed to John or any other department. The address for the grievance in the bylaws in that section is LA 32. There's no other so-called regional grievance panel. There's no regional grievance panel language in
Okay.
LA 32 bylaws. So I don't know where this.
Thank you very much. I've heard your public comment. I'm sorry I didn't time that, but I'm not going to read the bylaws. I'm not going to spend a meeting reading the bylaws. Do I have any other public comment? Mr. Johnson?
Yes, again, you mentioned 2 board members and 2 stakeholders. You had 2 stakeholder volunteers. Also, the issue regarding the regional grievance committee is a tool. It's not a requirement. It's an option. Your bylaws clearly lay out how a grievance should be carried out. The last board did hear a grievance, okay? So the process has been done, okay? So, no pun intended to the department, but the process has been executed before. Go by your bylaws, but the option is there, it's not a requirement.
Mr. Pacheco?
The grievance part of their bylaws are not that long. And the problem is that I thought I heard somebody say they didn't know on the board what the grievance process is. Can you imagine? How do the stakeholders know if you don't know?
Thank you. So I'm going to be appointing myself, Keith Servillis, and Art Garcia. That does create a quorum, Mr. Pacheco. Since you're stating that you're planning on filing a grievance, it doesn't really make sense to appoint you to a committee to hear grievances. So I'm going to call for a vote on that. Myself, Keith Servillis, Art Garcia is the ad hoc grievance committee. Mr. Garcia, can you just stick around, make sure I get your email? Fantastic. Thank you so much. You can just hand it to me and leave when you want to, if you so feel like it. Do I have any abstentions on that vote? Do I have any opposition to that? Is that an abstention or opposition? Okay. And so I've got 1 opposition, no abstentions. Thank you very much. Just make sure that- No, I have a quorum, so thank you very much. That motion passes 13-1 to create the ad hoc grievance committee. Moving right along, I've lost my agenda. Yes.
Addressing the concerns that the stakeholders have in the immediate creation of the ad hoc grievance committee that was just established by our chair, the grievance process in our bylaws indicates that the board shall randomly select from a volunteer list of 2 stakeholders and 2 directors. I feel it's against the service of the people and the gentleman submitting his petition for grievance against this board to not have a full ad hoc grievance committee panel established. It's a disservice to the stakeholders who come and attend our meetings, watch us, and then in 60 days to have more than a handful, at least a half dozen grievances already submitted because of the blatant disregard of the process. Now,
Sorry,
the bylaws
Director Manzano,
specifically
point of order
indicate
can interrupt.
two-
I apologize.
Invitation was given to the public.
I'm not saying that, but we're just saying. What I'm mentioning is this is a disservice to the public. I'm not saying you're really invited. Anyone could raise their hands, and we only seen 1 gentleman wishing to participate. But it is a disservice to the stakeholders to actually move forward and not offer them, the grievance, the board, the fair opportunity to follow the process. Just because you have what you just said, quorum, we're not here to serve on the bare minimum. We don't serve by giving them 1 minute. We don't serve our stakeholders by giving them the minimum. We're here to represent them and give them full opportunity to participate in the process.
Point of order.
That's what we are not doing. And with that, you guys will notice, I believe the stakeholders will not allow this board to function for another 22 months the way we are right now.
I'm sorry. Seeing as I had a stakeholder specifically say that he was going to be filing a grievance, and it is the chair's job to appoint people to the committee, am I within my rights, Tom, to say that is a reason to Not to mention the fact that
Are there other stakeholders here that might be able to-
not to mention the fact that the original grievance is against that former board member. So I'm concerned about the fairness. The reason that I chose Director Servilis, myself, and Mr. Garcia is that none of us had anything to do with the original grievance, whereas you did, Director Manzano, and so did Treasurer. You were a member of the board, sir.
The key right now is that, is there any other stakeholders, because it does say 2 and 2, under the bylaw.
I would volunteer, but this is my problem. If it says random, and these gentlemen back here, I'm not understanding what they want, because it would seem to me like they would want it to go to a panel so that it could be more objective.
Mhm.
Because if you guys make the decision, especially if I'm on the panel, all they're gonna do is write about us, accuse us of being biased. They'll file more grievances. So for that reason, I'm not willing to put myself through that, and that's unfortunate because I would like to. I hear grievances on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, as a former president, it's probably not.
I would
prudent.
honestly, I know you've already voted on it, I just think it would, sending it to panel would probably have, it would kind of, it's an objective person telling them there's no merit to your grievances. Whereas if we're telling them that, it's not gonna resonate.
Okay, I called for public comment on that earlier. I'll go back and correct it right now if Tom says that I should put Mr. Pacheco, who was involved in the whole process, on,
Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be with Mr. Pacheco, just 2 and 2, right?
Right, but I only have one other stakeholder volunteer. Do I have a volunteer? Do I have fantastic, can we go back? Thank you very much. I'd like to make a motion, or call for a motion actually, to reconsider the previous, the vote to, can I get a motion from somebody to reconsider the vote that we just took?
Motion to reconsider the vote.
I guess this is really sort of a Robert's Rules thing. I was just trying to be as transparent as possible. But I did take a vote on this with myself, Director Servilis, and Art Garcia. I am going to be very thorough on this and ask for a reconsideration on that vote. Can I get a motion to reconsider that vote? I've got one from Cynthia, a second from Director Servilis. Do I have any public comment? Do I have any board comment? Do I have any abstentions? Do I have any nays? Vote passes. We're going to reconsider that. We're going back to the vote. I'm going to amend my appointment to myself, Keith Servilis, Art Garcia, and sir, give me your full name again.
Aaron Ostrom.
Aaron Ostrom, thank you so much, sir. Now we've got 2 stakeholders. Thank you so much. So I'm gonna, with a correct, full 4-person ad hoc bylaws committee, I'm gonna call for a vote on that. Myself, Keith Servilis, Art Garcia, Aaron Ostrom. Can I get a motion on that?
I'll motion that Jen Markevich, Mr. Keith Servilis, Art Garcia, stakeholder, and Aaron Ostrom be appointed to the ad hoc committee grievance panel.
Do I have a second?
Aye.
Well, there was a lot of seconds. I got Karina seconding. Do I have any public comment on that? Do I have any board comment? Do I have, I'm calling for a vote. Do I have any abstentions on that? Do I have any nays? All in favor, 14-0. Myself, Keith Servilis, Art Garcia, and Aaron Ostrom. Thank you to the stakeholders who probably got a little snapshot of what's happening here. Moving right along. Karina. We've got discussion and possible action that LA 32 Neighborhood Council host a board retreat for wait, I didn't skip ahead, didn't I? Oh. Board directors and open to the public at Grifols on August 24, 2016 from 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Fund up to and not to exceed $1,000 for food and beverages. Do I have a motion on that?
I'll motion item number 3 under new business at LA 32 NC host a board retreat for board directors open to the public at Ripples on August 24, 2016 from 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Oh, sorry.
Heard Jackie on that one faster, sorry, Marcia. I'm going to open that one up to public comment. Do you have any public comment?
Yeah.
Mr. Pacheco?
Yesterday, we had the night out, and it came out to a little less than $500 for over 100 people. I've been to board retreats. I can't see you spending $1,000 to feed yourself. Thank you.
Do I have any other comment on that? No public comment? I'm going to open up to board comment. I'm going to say that I agree with Mr. Pacheco completely. $1,000 is a lot of money. That's what Dunn was really surprised when we said that. I mean, we can, but that's a lot. So I personally would like to see an amendment, but I'm going to let you guys chat about it. Director Chavilis?
Public open too?
That is correct. It is open to the public as well. So we don't have a head count, but do I have any other?
I do have a comment. I just want to say, that item was moved correct, motion moved forward, and now we're talking about it. And item 2 did not move forward like that. I just want you to see the difference on how that was done correctly. You asked for a motion, somebody motioned, somebody second, now we're discussing it. Item 2 did not happen like that. We just jumped straight into I need a motion to create a committee. And it wasn't even like a motion to hear it. I was just, trying to see if you even noticed that.
Great. Was that about this at all?
No, they had that.
Exactly. Thank you. So, do I have any, Cynthia?
It specifically says fund up to and not to exceed $1,000, so that gives us the idea that we could be at 400, 600, but not to exceed $1,000.01. That's how it works.
Marcia, I know I saw your hand.
That my witness have the same comment.
Does anybody else have any comments on that?
I might go do one more.
Sure.
If it's 1 cent over, we'd have another grievance. So why not go a little bit extra, just to be safe?
Do I have any other? I mean, I'm not going to make a motion to amend that, and I'm not going to call for one. I think, I agree with Mr. Pacheco that is a lot, but it's coming out of the committee that we created to do this, which is fantastic, and they've been working really hard, so.
So I do have a quote. Angela, Keith, and I are in the board committee, ad hoc board committee, and we did look at prices. We first looked at LAPD Hollenbeck, and they actually had the date for Sunday only available. So I reached out to all of you one-on-one, and most of you gave me the most available, which was between Wednesday and Thursday, and it was very hard, tough decision, because there was one of you that's not going to be there on Wednesday. Or we go Thursday and the other one's not there, so it's going to be, that's why we voted on Wednesday. We're recommending Wednesday to you. The food is going to be purchased from Grifols. They have either dinner options or catering options. Catering options is about $7.50, $8 per person. And they will want an RSVP list, so if the community, once this gets approved, we will put out on Facebook, create an invitation for RSVP. And Karen Glenn from Grifols said, if someone's not on the RSVP list, either I or herself will walk out to the security booth and just kind of, and I also spoke to Tom, we'll kind of, I mean, we're not going to deny a stakeholder if they say, I'm here and I'm not on your list. I'll either walk out there, greet them and just walk them back up. So it's not going to be like a closed event. It is open to the public. And of course, we're not going to spend $1,000. But we do want to give ourselves that space, that leeway.
I just have a question. Is Griffo requiring us to buy the food from there?
No,
It's
we
just-
checked other prices, like if we bring it from if we keep it here in the community, like I went to La Cocina, and they have various prices. The gorditas, $3.50, or the plate of taquitos, $5.50. So it's like $1 or $2 less than what they do on their appetizers. Yeah, but then that means one of us would have to go pick it up, and they don't deliver. As to they already have the the catering, you know. We could still use one vendor, we don't have to use Griffles, but we have 1,000, not saying that we're gonna take advantage and go $1,000, because we're gonna try to keep it less.
Thank you.
Any other board comment on that? Okay, I'm gonna call for a vote. Can I get the sheet? Michelle? Thank you. Thank you. This has got to be a roll call vote. So I've got a motion that LA 32 Neighborhood Council host a board retreat for board directors and open to the public at Griffles on August 24, 2016 from 5 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Fund up to and not to exceed $1,000 for food and beverage. I've got a motion from Cynthia with a second from Jackie. Going to a roll call vote. Director Guzman.
Yes.
Director Verdugo. Director Cervillos.
Yes.
Director Lopez. Myself, yes. Director Sandoval. Director Leal.
Yes.
Director Flores.
Yes.
Director Vargas cannot vote on this, is ineligible. Director Cruz.
Yes.
Absent. Director Porzantes.
Yes.
Director Correa.
Yes.
Director Manzano.
Yes, I accept.
Director Munoz.
Yes.
1301, this motion passes. And again, this is open to all of our stakeholders. So I hope everybody heard those dates to come and participate in our board retreat, where we're going to be doing a lot of work and training and getting this board moving forward. So, moving on to the next item of new business, the LA 32 Neighborhood Council co-sponsor with CD14 Councilmember Jose Huizar for the reopening of El Sereno Park and Rec with a movie night on Saturday, August 27, 2016 from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Fund up to and not to exceed excuse me, not to exceed $500 for snacks, juices, and water bottles to be given to free to the community. Can I get a motion? No?
I motion that LA 32 NC co-sponsor with CD14 Councilmember Jose Huizar for the reopening of El Sereno Park and Rec with a movie night on Saturday, August 27, 2016 from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Fund up to and not to exceed $500 for snacks, juices, water bottles to be given free to the community.
Do I have a second? I saw your hand in your mouth, but I heard Karina's voice, which was very confusing to me. So I've got a motion and a second from Jackie and Karina. Do I have any public comment on this? Oh, thank you, Ryan. Do you have any public comment?
Yeah.
Do I have any?
$1,000 for you, $500 for you.
Do I have any board comment? Is that a yes?
Yes. So this came out of Arts and Culture Committee. We met, and Julio Torres, the field deputy, reached out to me, the chair, and asked if we can co-sponsor, so that's how it got on the agenda. We're not paying the movie rights. The movie rights alone is about $500-$600. Then there's the setup for all that, another $1,000, and it's a lot of money that the councilman's putting. We're just putting $500, which is snacks. And I know that we still have a lot of leftover from National Night Out, but I know that it also has an expired date, so we have to be careful that we don't store it from here to August 27th, because it has expired dates. But that's what the snacks are for, to be given free to the community, the children that come and take these snacks for free.
Do I have any other board comment? Director Manzano.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Speaking specifically for item number 4, which is the council members' activity at the El Sereno Recreation Center for a movie night out, This is something that I would encourage the board to support, approve, and it is acceptable and proper that we engage the community and the stakeholders with these type of local activities and these type of local events. What I would like to indicate though is that I'm noticing that there's several purchases. I've been aware that there's going to be a community cleanup on August 15th, which is about 10 days prior to this. And then there's an expected expenditure of $500 for the 27th. And then we also have the next item down coming up, another expenditure coming up for September the 17th, which is just shy of about another 3 weeks out. I'm not saying that we should consolidate these purchases, but at the same time, when we do make our purchases, any items that are not exhausted or used, be carried over for the following items. Not every item expires, but if we do have Gatorade, granola bars, juices, potato chips, bags, and like that and whatnot, popcorn, that we still use those, and it might be possible that we may not need to use all $500 or excess those $500 because we have other very extremely important projects that are coming up, and every time we spend 100 here, 100 there, 100 there, what we're doing is disenfranchising the stakeholders. When they say, we need $500, and say, well, there's no money. So just be frugal with these expenses, and whatever is left over, we could use them for alternative events. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have any other board comment? Vice President?
Yes, two general comments to make. First one is that I'd like to make a suggestion that we try to find juices and candy and fruit that are healthy and low in sugar, maybe even fruit, things like that. So that's one comment. Second comment is I think this is a great idea. I support it, but maybe next year when we do this, instead of buying snacks, maybe that money can go towards somebody who's popping popcorn and giving it away to kids. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you. Any other? Presentes?
We did try doing the popcorn machine. The council member did have the popcorn machine last year, and the line was so long that nobody was watching the movie. No, this was the Lego movie night 2 years ago. And the popcorn line was too long because that one popcorn machine was taking forever. So the following year we tried to buy popcorn bags, and we bought just too many because that committee just wanted popcorn bags. So this time, this committee is doing a variety, and we can go healthy if you like. And as far as being worried about, saving money, it's coming out of arts and culture. We agreed, you approved us that amount to spend on the budget, and we spend it, the Arts and Culture Committee, how we feel is best. It's not coming out of none of your committees. It's coming out of our committee that you approved. Just wanted to clear that up.
Any other board comment? Seeing? Director Surveillance.
To clarify, if my fellow board member was referencing the community cleanup, that's actually happening not on 15th, but Saturday the 13th, that we all know is Good Luck Saturday the 13th.
and there will be lots of Frank Sinatra. Any other board comment? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to call for a vote on this. Thank you very much. That LA 32 Neighborhood Council co-sponsored with CD14 Councilmember Jose Huizar for the reopening of El Sereno Park and Rec with movie night on Saturday, August 27, 2016. From 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. fund up to and not to exceed $500 for snacks, juices, and water bottles to be given to free for the community. Again, this is a funding vote, so it's got to be a roll call. Director Guzman? Oh, okay. So she is now absent. Director Verdugo?
Yes.
Director Cervillos?
Yes.
Director Lopez? Myself, yes. Director Sandoval? Director Leo? Director Flores?
Yes.
Director Vargas?
Knowledgeable.
Sorry, Miguel, that comes out of my mouth before Director Cruz?
Yes.
Absent. Director Cruzantes?
Yes.
Director Carrillo?
Yes.
Director Manzano?
Yes.
Director Munoz?
Yes.
By a vote of 12-1-1, it passes. That second one is an absence, so not vote nay. Even if she just temporarily. Okay. Thank you for that correction. You got that?
No.
Director, I'm sorry, 12, no, that's correct. It's itemized correctly, but just for the record, 12,001.
Who was the one?
Miguel is absent, or ineligible. Our number shifted because Director Guzman is out of there. 12 yes. Moving right along. Discussion and possible action that LA 32 Neighborhood Council support and sponsor the second annual Ascot Hills 5K run by volunteering, providing funds up to $500 to purchase water, granola bars, Cliff Bars, fruit, Gatorade, and cups. The event is on September 17th. That motion is coming out of Sports and Rec on July 18th, 2016. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Got a motion from Vice President Vargas, and I can see Director Sedilis out of the corner of my eye. I'm assuming that's a second?
Second.
Do you have any public comment on this? Mr. Johnson? Oh, is that
Being
Is it just a
former
thumbs
track
up?
cross-country runner and knowing the history of the Oakland Running Club going back to the 1970s, this is a great community event. Fully 100% in support of this, as I stated last time when Jerry came before this board. I think also too, I would kind of like to maybe see some expansion of this. There used to be all-comers cross-country meets in our local park. Years ago, in the 1970s, we had all-comers cross-country meets where kids from various schools came and competed on Saturday by age groups. You have a natural course at Ascot, but also El Sereno has a nice little course that can be utilized around there. Guardia Park, maybe. Rose Hills Park. You got some great areas there. I would like to see this expanded, so maybe in the fall, maybe there's like all-comers cross-country season. Races at each of those facilities. But again, I support Jerry's endeavor. It's for a worthwhile cause. As you heard a gentleman from the fire department here earlier, this is a great recruitment tool for a department that was decimated during the budget cuts, and this is a great way to recruit a new generation of firefighters too.
Thank you, sir. Do I have any other public comment, Mr. Pacheco?
Yeah, I don't want to get up anymore. Not that I don't need the exercise.
Maybe you should sign up for the 5K run.
Actually, to be honest with you, in 1978, this was the first program that I did corporately sponsored from Budweiser. And I'm proud to be able to say that I'm glad they're still here. Okay, so I fully support this, provided it is free to the community. And that's why we, when we corporate sponsored it, was to the tune of $10,000 back then. And that was because we wanted it to be free to the community. Thank you.
More public comment? Correct?
Thank you guys for the kind words, and thanks you for that. But first of all, to get Scott's question answered, we are looking to expand it. To have more opportunities for our youth to come out and run. As you know, this is only our second annual. We have a lot more groundwork to cover. Excuse me. Things cost money, bottom line. Last year, this whole event came out of my friend and I's pocket. We're asking for support. We got support this year. I have now got 100 kids in the LA 90032 area go to run for free. 100 kids. So once again, this is only my second year. As Scott mentioned, I would love to go ahead and expand it, do a lot more healthier, better things for the community. But again, I need time. So my intent is to be, yes, absolutely, you will. With more sponsors, more kids running. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any other public comment?
I just want to elaborate a little bit on the 100 kids. I know because he was short of time. So 50 of these kids are going to be sponsored by Oakland Athletics, which we may need some help with leaders like yourselves, recruiting kids that are going to show up the day of the race, not just sign up. 30 kids are being sponsored by Councilman Jose Lizar and Rena's team Lizar, and that will be the entire fire academy at Wilson. And then 20 kids are being sponsored by Ripples, And I think we're trying to get those from the SRLA, hopefully, Jackie can help us with that. So just to let you guys know where these kids are being sponsored and we have a team leader. So hopefully maybe LA 32 can, and maybe even just a few of you run, get a team LA 32. There's going to be a good number of teams out there that are city entities and community entities.
Thank you very much. Do I have any other public comment? Do I have any board comment?
Yes, I just want to say great job, keep up the good work, and then I was going to make a comment about maybe in the future trying to get students run LA, but it looks like you guys are working on it, so great. And also I look forward to running and hopefully beating everyone here. Probably not.
I would just like to say in response to that, I'm very much looking forward to watching you guys run. Director Cervillos?
Looking very much forward to cheating.
Any other board comment?
I have a board comment.
Okay.
So, in light, I just want to let everybody know, in light of the bottles of water, we're going to do big gallons of the Gatorade, those water jug things, and we have filling stations. So to consume on the trash being left around. So.
Oh, great, awesome. Environmental Green, I'm sure is excited about that. Any other board comment? Okay, I'm going to call for a vote on this. It's a roll call vote. Director Guzman?
Yes.
Director Verdugo?
Yes.
Director Cervillos?
Yes.
Director Lopez? Myself, yes. Director Sandoval?
Yes.
Director Leo?
Yes.
Director Flores?
Yes.
Director Vargas, ineligible. Director Cruz?
Yes.
Director Corzantes?
Yes.
Director Carrillo?
Yes.
Director Manzano?
Yes, I agree.
Director Munoz?
Yes.
1301.
The total was this total?
Oh, you want to? Okay, I can throw that too.
Is that the bottom?
Eligible. Technically 13001. Motion passes. Moving right along. Discussion and possible action that LA 32 Neighborhood Council approve the 2016-2017 budget packet required by Empower LA to submit by September 1st, 2016. Motion made by Budget and Finance Committee on June 6th, 2016. Can I get a motion on this?
I'll motion to move the LA 32 FC approve the 2016-2017 budget package required by Empower LA to submit by September 1st, 2016.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion from Director Sandoval with a second from Director Cervillos. I was going to speak on this, but actually it probably just makes a lot more sense for you too, Michelle.
These copies were given to you at the last meeting, but they were given to you was it the June? The June, so you should have copies. If not, there's a hard copy on the wall, and I have it here projecting. The budget packet is due on September 1st, and it does require that we look at a strategic plan on what our goals are. Budget and Finance recommended this. The strategic plan includes the outreach survey of the former board, which is how many people did they have on the website as subscribers, Facebook numbers, Twitter account, YouTube, stakeholders, MailChimp, and it also includes if we printed business cards. Budget and Finance once again sat this and answered these questions, and I was able to help because I was in the former board. We also had to do a self-assessment from the former board to see if we were following or looking at these big goals. We didn't want to reinvent the wheel from the former board because obviously we didn't meet all the goals from the former board. So we recommended the budget from the former board, the strategic plan, and of course it's upside down because it's going to make it, yeah, I don't even know how to turn it around. We give the big vision, and in the big vision there was some changes that the committee did see to change, like we changed committee to stakeholders. Other things that we changed, you see there, those were the changes that the committee made to you to see. We do the big solution, which is 3 bullets. From the big solution, we go into the budget because they want to see what our budget is, which we already approved the budget in June. The budget is this one here, that one is straight up. This is the budget that we approved, where each committee has an amount. And not only do we include the budget, oh yes, this one's right. We include the big score and we include the big reminder. Once again, the website in Parallel has steps on how to come about the big score and the big reminder. And we felt that we didn't want to reinvent the wheel and continue the mission and the vision of the former board to try to complete it, and just a few minor things were on there. For example, the big score on the website will begin to measure web traffic to determine increase in outreach. We want to increase always our outreach, which we have. We want to increase our contacts, meetings. The LA32 will maintain accurate records of how many stakeholders attend the general board meetings. So that's a goal that we never did last year. So maybe this year we'll have kind of like a sign-in back there. So when they come, they can give us their name and their email to keep record of how many stakeholders we're getting. And that's a good one, you see. So that's why we didn't take that out. We just left it there because we didn't even bother to do that last year. So that's something minor that, like I said, we can add. Public events at LA32 will work with local organizations. We moved it up to 10 because I believe we moved it up to 15 because we only did 10 co-sponsors last former board, and this year we're going to try to go 15. So if we did make a change, there were minor little changes that we made. Partners at LA32 will create a list of organizations in our network that can assist us to enhance civic participation. Yes?
I have a question regarding that. And
Which one?
Not that it's so much just a concern. The bullet number 1, 2, 3, fourth one down. There's a misspelling where it says co-sponsored. It says CP to the right. A little
Which
bit more
is
to the
co?
right.
Oh yeah, okay. I'll
And
go ahead
then
and
just
change
on a
that.
note, perhaps aside from just co-sponsoring with other organizations, we need to take the leadership, the aspirations to create our own activities. That's why earlier this evening I asked for 3 items to be placed on separate committee agendas. Because yes, we understand that we serve our communities, but what I've noticed over the years is everyone comes to us with their event, and that's exactly what it is. It's their event. For us to show the stakeholders who we represent in LA32 Neighborhood Council, we have to step up, create our own events, create ownership of them, much like the Kite Festival. Some years back, some people wanted to change the name and take that away. It belongs to LA32 Neighborhood Council as a body, and we should create more of those. So somewhere on there, I want to see that the LA32 Neighborhood Council will own 3 more events at least. Thank you.
So you want to change it from 15 to 18?
No, 15 to 10 and 3 of our own. Our own events. Reduce that. We don't want to be close. We do want to
Well, hold on one second.
ownership of our own. Reduce that one, I would say.
Treasurer Chrysanthus, were you through the whole presentation before? You're okay, so you're finished. Okay, I
If
just
they have
want.
questions, I'll go back and forth if I have
Okay.
to.
So, I'm just hearing that there's one amendment.
Yeah, we could change it. I'll change it right now on the draft. He wants it on that bullet. It's a draft, so I'm gonna change that.
Well, we have this. So, is that a motion to amend that? Right.
I didn't know that is that what we're accepting? We're accepting it?
Yeah, I mean, I got a motion from Cynthia and
Okay, if that's the document we're accepting, yes, then I'd like
to
to.
approve. Yeah.
I don't have that
Changing
before,
the
right?
CO,
Yeah.
And you said,
I
keep
would-
it at 10?
I would say keep it at 10 and then show done,
How do you wanna
show
word
the
it?
stakeholders, show our board,
Give me the
that we own, that we create ourselves, the LA 32 Neighborhood Council events.
Give me your wording.
Sorry, hold on, guys. That we are, the motion I have on the table is to approve what Michelle's doing. So it's item number 16. If you want to make a motion to, oh, I'm sorry, 6, that was mine. All I need is for you to just say, you want a motion to amend that. Okay, that's fine.
We'd like to add another motion or an amendment to that document, one more bullet down there, that LA 32 create and own 3 events within the 12-month period. They could be like I suggested, the spelling bee, which would be the LA 32 Neighborhood Council spelling bee. We could create the LA 32 camping out at Ascot Park, could be another activity. They could be anything.
You want to put the specific, you want to put the.
No, they
so
could be
you just-
anything.
you
What I'm
want a motion
saying
to
is we as a
create-
body,
Create and own 3 events
Correct.
within 3 months.
12 months.
Oh, 12 months. Out of any committee? Or do you want a specific committee?
Any committee, but just the
Okay.
council to us, so we show that we're doing something.
Okay, do I have a second on that? Sounds like a good idea. Marcia, was that? I got a second. Do I have any public comment on that? It's just a single change. No? Do I have any board comment on that? No, I'm gonna call, I'm not gonna make this a roll call vote, it's just a single amendment to this for wording. Well, it's not wording, it's an additional statement. So do I have any abstentions? Do I have any nays? That it, I already called for public comment. I'm doing the vote now. Again, this is just to approve your one. Yeah. So that passes. If Treasurer Corzantes, when you submit that, you can have that.
We just did the events and now we gotta go back to the other.
Stick on the amendment.
You
Huh?
amended it.
Point of order?
Yeah, we just amended, so now we go back to approving the.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying that when you submit it, make sure that that is included in the big score. Okay. So now we're going back to the original motion that has now been amended. The budget packet has been amended with Director Manzano's amendment. Good amendment, Director Manzano, thank you for that. Now that you've gone through that, I'm gonna call for public comment on that.
Want to go back also, I should have had public comment on the amendment, okay, but I will make my comment here. Just a point of information for the board, there is a state park program at the cornfield. They have a container set up for camping programs, 36 people at a time. It's mobile, it can probably be utilized to be brought into this community. I've worked with it in the past, so Mr. Manzano, you have a good point about a camping program. I would say Record Park Committee or somebody like that can get in contact with state park people over at the cornfields and they can make that happen. That's a perfect example of it. The neighborhood council creating its own indigenous event and working also with an outside collaborator to make this happen.
Thank you. Do I have any other public comment on our budget packet? Seeing none, do I have any board comment?
I have a question.
Yeah.
On the cornfield, is that the Alligator Park? Yeah.
Do I have any other board comment? That was easy. Seeing none, I'm going to make this a roll call vote just for an overabundance of caution. Yeah. So I've got a motion from Cynthia with a second from Director Chavilis that LA 32 Neighborhood Council approve the 2016-2017 budget packet required by Empower LA to be submitted by September 1st, 2016. Director Guzman.
Yes.
Director Verdugo. Director Chavilis.
Yes.
Director Lopez. Myself, yes. Director Sandoval.
Yes.
Director Leo.
Yes.
Director Flores.
Yes.
Director Vargas.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I always call you. I'm actually going to refer to Dunn on this one. This being the budget packet and not actual finance item, can Director Vargas vote on this?
It's a funding item.
Okay, I'm gonna put you down as ineligible. Director Cruz? Director, Crusantes?
Yes.
Director Carrillo?
Yes.
Director Manzano?
Yes, I accept.
Director Munoz?
Yes.
13001, this passes. Discussion and possible. Item number 7, discussion and possible action regarding stakeholder Ruben Chavez's grievance filed July 1st, 2016. It would be my recommendation that now that we have an ad hoc grievance committee, that this get referred, just drop right back down to committee. That is correct, Tom. I don't need a motion on that at all.
Well, it's discussion just to make it official.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
okay. So I'm gonna call for any kind of public comment on that.
Yes, I have one.
I know, I was gonna call on you. Director Johnson, I've got the card.
On Sunday night, Sunday night before board meetings, I always have a tendency to look at the website to see the agenda is posted. Sunday night, I got to 6 o'clock, no agenda was posted. 7 o'clock, no agenda was posted. Vis-a-vis that the requirements for the department is that if you have a website, you have to post it on the website within the 72-hour notice and also one location. I want to know tonight, is this meeting met that requirement? Is the posting for this meeting tonight met that requirement? Because this grievance has to do with a board member who was removed from his committee for in part for not following allegedly those guidelines. So it's important here tonight is that if this grievance that was filed by a stakeholder that was in part due to the fact that there was supposedly policy violation regarding the legal posting of the meeting, I want to know tonight that this meeting met the same requirements. And if not, then why are we being subjective here and not being consistent in implementation of the policy? Because one board member has already been removed for not doing that.
Thank you. Do you have any other public comment? Mr. Checker?
Now, we keep talking about the grievance and the grievance procedure. First of all, like I told Tom earlier, some of these agendas don't have enough on them for us to even know what you're talking about. Like the one about the previous grievance. And so, I think that Tom thought there was an attachment. There's no such attachment. The public has a right to know. What is the grievance? Because if it's the grievance that he's referencing, it's an unjust grievance. If it's not the grievance, then how can we talk about it? And say whether or not we agree that it should go to the committee? Thank you.
Do you have any other public comment? Do I have any board comment?
I have a question. When was it posted to the website and if so?
The grievance?
I have a question about the comment that he made. Was the agenda posted to the website and if so when?
The agenda we complied with Brown Act and Blanc policy between 3:36 and 4:21 on Sunday. We were compliant. Yeah, Director Chivilis.
It's nice to see the members of the public are taking notice of our website instead of their own websites.
Director Chivilis. Decorum. Director Manzano.
Very much. I'm going to be speaking specific for item number 7, which I think falls under new business, which is the grievance, I guess, submitted by Ruben Chavez. Directly for item number 7, it indicates that a grievance was submitted on July the 1st. His grievance pertains to a recommendation from the Public Safety Committee, which I held, which meets these same requirements. Obviously, there's a double standard here or lack of consistencies. The colleague here asked if this was posted properly to the agenda, to the website, and I guess a sleight of hand or misinformation was provided. The absolute truth is it was not on LA 32 Neighborhood Council website prior to 6 p.m. Now, although it had been sent to the webmaster with enough time, which is the same thing that I had done, But obviously, there was some reprimands, there was retaliation, there was also some consideration that I might
Point
have
of
acted
order.
inappropriately.
Sorry, Director Manzano. Director Servilis.
There was no reprimand for what the gentleman is speaking of, so this is moot again.
And the point of this, sir, is just to move the grievance down to committee. It's not to hear the grievance in the general meeting.
You're not hearing it.
You're actually arguing it right now.
Well, my
Director
statement is
Buchanan.
that Ruben Chavez's grievance that's indicated here on the agenda this evening should be dismissed because he filed his grievance a day after the board already took action. We have the documentations, we have the videos, we have the agendas. So basically what I'm saying is this item number 7, which nobody I believe has made a motion to hear it yet, so I'm making the motion, just like you guys did back on June 1st. But this one is acceptable, that Mr. Ruben Chavez's grievance is declined and rejected as submitted, because he doesn't have any merits, and the community, the stakeholders can verify,
Thank you.
and they're prepared to assure that this grievance is not being heard.
Please let the record show, and before I call for a second, I will hear that. I've got a motion from Director Manzano to summarily dismiss without hearing all of our stakeholder, Mr. Ruben Chavez's concerns towards this board. And that grievance predominantly is directed at Director Manzano. So I think it's really curious that some of the concerns about grievances being heard, there's a lot of concern from certain individuals about us summarily dismissing grievances, except when it's directed at Director Manzano, and then we want to summarily dismiss it. Do I have a second to Director Manzano's motion to summarily dismiss our stakeholders' concerns?
I have a point of question. I have a question. So was it not heard at the last meeting and discussed or not?
You could second it and then we'll discuss that.
So then I second his motion so we can discuss it.
I have a motion and a second to summarily dismiss without hearing stakeholder Ruben Chavez's grievance.
Now I'd like to enter discussion. Thank you very much.
I didn't call on you, Director
I'm taking the
Manzano.
floor.
I did not call on you, sir. You do not have the floor. I have a motion and second to summarily dismiss a grievance without it being investigated in violation of our bylaws, without anybody, well, I mean, you just seconded a motion to summarily dismiss this. So I'm going to call on public comment.
When you call the motion, it should be just what it is instead of adding to it. But that's all I'm saying. I only have.
I'm not calling for board comment. I'm going to public comment. So to summarily dismiss, public comment. Mr. Johnson.
Again, the question here is whether this meeting is legal. Is there any email?
Sir, is this about Mr. Chavez? No, sir, I'm taking public comment.
Of this proceeding. It pertains to every agenda item because this meeting was not posted legally. It affects every agenda item being discussed tonight. I would recommend, and I want, if I do a public records request, I'll do it for every email. Was there email that said that this meeting did not meet compliance? Because that is evidence that there was a double standard. That's why Anthony, I'm going to respectfully disagree with your motion to dismiss. There needs to be discovery, and there needs to be an impartial body, once again, to investigate this. Because if this meeting was done in a way that was inconsistent with the follow from Mr. Manzano, then there should be some board members sanctioned, just like Mr. Manzano was. So I was disagree with the motion to dismiss.
Thank you, sir.
I want
Thank you,
discovery.
sir. Thank you. Again, guys, this is why we created an ad hoc grievance committee, so all of this can happen at a committee level, and then it can come back up to the board, and that committee can hear everything and make a recommendation. Mr. Pacheco.
You know, one of the things that
little bit funny here is that there seems to be this idea that we have an imperial presidency. And you make all these comments that leads the board to certain decisions. Understand how disrespectful that is. Under Robert's Rules of Order, you're all equal to the chair. But she's playing a game on you guys. Read your Robert's Rules of Order. Read the bylaws. I am glad to see that we have a grievance committee that will listen to this, Anthony. It has to be aired out. Things you have been violated. And the violation has been because it has not been a fair and just decision. And you guys are being manipulated. Thank you.
Do you have any more public comment? Do you have any board comment?
I have a question still. So my only question, and that's why I didn't appreciate the words being put in my mouth. I don't know whether or not this is a good idea. I want to hear from the rest of the board. Maybe I think that it might be a great idea to have it sent to the committee. That's not my point. My question was, what was discussed and decided at the last meeting? And how was that related to his original comment, Anthony's original comment, which was that this was already taken care of?
Director Guzman, with all due respect, the last meeting was available for viewing, and it's been available for viewing for a month. I'm not really clear. You want us to review the last meeting for you because you were not at the last meeting?
Okay,
Is
so
that,
as you
I
know,
just don't understand.
I've been dealing with a lot of families.
As have I,
And that's
as
why
have
I
I.
really think this whole condescending conversation, I really don't appreciate it.
Okay.
My question was if you could just simply tell me what occurred on this item. I'm not asking you to give me a full recap, I'm just asking you one simple question because it pertains to his original comment, and I think that's a consideration we should have when we make the vote on this, whether that is in fact moving it to an ad hoc committee.
You're asking me, in essence, to try
Never mind.
Mr. Chavez's grievance.
Go ahead,
I mean,
go on.
that's all I'm saying is that, I can't review everything that happened at the last meeting because you weren't at the last meeting and you didn't review the last meeting. I also
The
had,
minutes are not detailed, okay, the minutes, I haven't seen
there's
anything
a
that's provided
video.
me.
I mean, again, I understand.
If you can't answer the question, that's fine.
With all due respect,
Let's
I've
just
been.
move on, because it has a very condescending tone, I just really don't appreciate.
I'm trying my
So
very
that's
best
what
with you.
just-
I've reached out to you multiple times. I've done everything that I can. I understand that you have a family loss that you're dealing with. I have a family loss that I'm dealing with as well. I understand that you're under a lot of stress.
Actually, no one in my
But-
family has passed away, so obviously you're not listening to me, but if you could
I'm
just
sorry, I
I'd like you
misspoke.
to move to him.
That's my bad. I misspoke. I have a family loss. I understand you have a family issue that you've been dealing with, and we've discussed that. But we all have our responsibility on this board, and I don't know.
You could have taken 2 seconds to answer this instead of
It's
taking
not a
5
two-
minutes to lecture
it's
me.
not
So
a
that's fine.
2-second
I think it's
answer.
fine. If you could just move on to Anthony.
now?
Out of order.
Out of order, please.
It's not a 2-second answer. It's a 3-hour meeting. You'd have to ask them what they're referencing, what happened at the last meeting. I don't know what they're referencing. Director Manzano?
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
I'm going to give a little information specifically regarding Ruben Chavez's grievance filed July 1st. I'm going to give a little insight. There is no corrections. There is no out of order. It might take me about 3 minutes. I understand we have time, but it's important when we hear this issue and there's inconsistencies in the way we serve our stakeholders. On June the 28th, I held a Public Safety Committee meeting. I posted it at the library, El Sereno Senior Citizen Center, which is here, El Sereno Recreation Center, and Rose Hill Recreation Center. I went above and beyond the posting locations. I also emailed it to Aaron Devandry, which is the webmaster. In case what happened is Mr. Devandry did not put it on the website within an allotted time period. Ruben Chavez initiated his grievance. But the date of his initiation is July the 1st. From the 28th to the 30th, still within the month of June, the President decided to take actions against my recommendation from the Public Safety Committee and her consultations with the City Attorney to withdraw the Public Safety Committee's recommendation. This was before a grievance was even submitted.
Okay, I'm going to stop you. I'm actually going to stop you because one, you're trying something that needs to go to committee. It's not,
But
we're
here's the
not
point.
hearing the whole
This
grievance.
shouldn't- this
But
does
you're-
not need to go
hold
to
on.
committee.
Director Manzano, you are fundamentally, and it ties into what Director Guzman is saying, you're fundamentally misrepresenting why you were replaced for public safety. You have numerous emails. I am the chair of this board. Per our bylaws, I can appoint people to committees as I see fit. Your being moved off of public safety has nothing to do with this grievance. We can't get to this grievance. We're not hearing the grievance.
We're dismissing it. Thank you. I'm going to continue.
You're arguing to dismiss the grievance by hearing the grievance.
That's what I made the motion for, and it's been seconded, so we have discussion. So now what had happened, as of July the 1st, Ruben Chavez submitted his grievance. It is because supposedly, quote unquote, the agenda was not placed on the website. That's exactly what occurred for today's agenda that we all have before us. It was not placed on the website. So here's the question. If Ruben Chavez grievance sustains, then therefore there should be 10 other grievances submitted today for today's meeting. What I'm suggesting is, and proposing, and not just because I want to, because it's not summarity that Anthony wants to do this, the board took action back on June 1st when they wanted to disregard the first grievance with the same information. No data, no grievance, no information, no background. But then it was okay to do it, and today you're being biased. What has happened is we have to be consistent. And how we stay consistent is we either hear this or dismiss it like the one that was dismissed on June 1st by Director Leal and Director Vargas. But since that was dismissed, and that's why we have a grievance filed, which was item number 6 up here earlier, I believe. Item number 1, actually, no, 2, on old business, they all stand within the same thing. Because basically the complaint is it was not submitted on the website. Now that means today's meeting does not comply and was not submitted on the website. The reason why I propose that Ruben's grievance, specifically item number 7 today, should be dismissed is because his point is moot. The president already declined to hold the National Night Out event which was being proposed. So since no National Night Out event was supported in the community, then Ruben's grievance against holding one in the community is moot. There is no basis or foundation for his grievance.
Director Manzano, I've argued with the city attorney extensively and with the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment. Let me go on the record saying that as the president, I argued, and Tom can attest to this, to hear every grievance, to hear from our stakeholders. And for the record, Mr. Chavez's grievance has 3 parts. It's not just against you and the Brown Act issue, which we all now know. Let me finish, please. We all now know was not the issue. But if we have this hearing in an ad hoc grievance committee, everyone will then know, including Mr. Chavez, who is one of our stakeholders. But the other issue with that grievance is that you have multiple code of ethics violations, and that is the grievance. And also, there is a grievance against me for agendizing Mr. Aguilar's grievance. We have a web of grievances now, which is why we should create an ad hoc grievance committee to untangle the web, not waste the time of these stakeholders, come back and listen to what is going to be, Mr. Garcia knows, hours of argument. And I don't mean to be disrespectful, Director Guzman, but it is in fact hours of argument that I can't just simply answer in a 1-minute question, because it's now a grievance with multiple parts, on a grievance with multiple parts, on a grievance with multiple parts. So there's no simple answer. It's why it needs to go to committee so all of this gets heard and not we just dismiss one but hear another. You know, I have new information, and I will readily admit, Director Manzano, I'm actually sorry that I voted to dismiss the first grievance, because there's new information that I think is very telling, that I would like the entire process heard, just like, I'm not sure Mr. Johnson, Mr. Pacheco said something, full discovery. I am in favor of full discovery, so I think it is profoundly ironic that you are motioning to summarily dismiss Mr. Chavez's grievance. Do I have any other? Oh, Director Corzantes.
July 8th, Jasmine Duckworth sent an email to Alley 32. But their update on the roster was not updated. They had the former board emails. On that email, Jasmine is in policy and procedure with Empower LA, tells us that we have a grievance filed against us, and we have 3 options to resolve this. I wish this would have been on the agenda, which I believe I said it at the executive committee. So we have 3 options on how to go about number 7, this grievance, which is to either curring or rejecting the grievance in a whole, like we did with that other one, I think it was Lewis's grievance. And that was on the agenda, because I think the former president did put those 3 options, so that board can know what to do. Or waive consideration and request the department forward the grievance directly to the regional grievance panel for consideration, which is Empower LA has a grievance panel. If no action has been taken by Alley 32 Neighborhood Council within the time allotted, the department will forward the grievance to the regional grievance panel. The department will then send notice to the Neighborhood Council either via email or mail, notify to you the details of the hearing. So I replied to roster and I told them to please update your emails, and I believe I forward every single one of you this email, because board at LA 32 is updated, but Empower LA board at empowerla.org, I believe now it should be updated, because Jose from roster department sent me an email that we are good. I did contact the president and told her if she received it. She didn't, but she was going to look into it. But we do have 3 options to go about this. We either dismiss it as a whole or send it to Empower LA. So there is something, not just automatically we have to go send it to the grievance committee, like the way Mr. Manzano over there is saying. And if you don't have that email, I can forward it all to you again right now, because this was back in July 8th.
Yeah, Michelle, so the first part says accept or reject.
Yes. Address the issue by either curing or rejecting the grievance in a whole.
That'll be after, I think that's a little, put that in the code that.
Because that's how we rejected when Lewis's was on the agenda.
That's how we put it back on the agenda for the board to hear.
No, but Lewis is not on the agenda. Jose Aguilar's is on the agenda, but not Lewis. Lewis hasn't come back to us. His grievance.
Again, let me point something out, and again, with all due respect, Director Corzantes, all 3 of these sort of web of grievances now, there are 3 names that are mentioned. Treasurer Corzantes, Director Manzano, and myself in this web of grievances. I find it a little disconcerting that I'm the only one arguing to, let's say, hey, yeah, if you guys have a criticism of me, yes, let's hear it. Let's have a committee. Let's have it all out in the open. So, but I have a motion on the table to dismiss this. So, Director Manzano?
Thank you. I'll be brief. I just want to show or ask why all of a sudden there's a change of heart. Because back on June 1st, when I said we have to follow the bylaws, you cannot dismiss this grievance. You need to hear them out. We need to establish a grievance committee panel. But everyone voted against that. So I already have 60 days advising this board prior to all of a sudden the president has a change of heart to hear the grievances. I've been asking this from the very beginning. I know the rules. I've been the former president, and there's probably no code of ethics or conduct against me, because Director Servilis, who's left already, comes to the meetings and says profanity, vulgarities, foul language, but no one's admonishing him. This grievance, the only reason why I'm saying it should be rejected is not because it's against me. There's no more merit to it. His merit is that it was not posted to the agenda and that the item that I made the request to the agenda was not even moved forward to the board. So the board never took action.
Again, it makes
And
me
with
nothing but sad that you're actually misrepresenting this grievance now instead of just letting it be heard.
Well,
And-
fine,
and
so let it be
that's- so
heard
I'm gonna
then and
call-
let the
I'm gonna
grievance
call
committee make
a vote
its decision.
on the.
Can I have one more discussion, Madam Chair?
Actually, no. I'm going to call
I
for a
only
vote.
went one time and he went 3 times. This would be my second time.
A brief comment, Michelle.
I'm not in favor to dismiss it. I'm going to listen to the stakeholder, Mr. Johnson, and I actually want to hear this, this because if we dismiss this, it is going to pretty much look different to what stakeholder Pacheco is saying about how we're in violation today for not being posted on time. So I actually, we can't dismiss that because then we're kind of just brushing it under, so we should hear that.
Okay, so I have a motion to I have a motion to dismiss this grievance from Director Manzano. I've got a second from Director Guzman. I'm going to call for a vote. I'm going to make it a roll call vote. Again, this is to dismiss the grievance and not send it down to a committee. Sorry, Michelle, I thought you had to, sorry. Director Guzman?
Abstain.
Director Verdugo?
No.
Director Servillas? Oh, Director Servillas is now absent. Director Lopez? Myself, no. Director Sandoval? Director Leal?
No.
Director Flores? Director Vargas? Director Cruz?
No.
Director Cruzantes?
No.
Director Correa?
No.
Director Manzano?
Yes.
And Director Munoz? Uh, 1, 11, 1, this motion fails. Just as a point of clarification, Tom, do I need a motion to move this down to ad hoc grievance committee, or is it an automatic? Okay, I will call, I'm going to ask for a motion to move this, actually going to make a motion, call for a motion to move this down to the ad hoc grievance committee to deal with the grievance. Can I get a motion?
Motion to move item 7 down to the ad hoc grievance committee.
Can I get a second? Sorry, who was that? Thank you. I've got a motion to move this down to the ad hoc grievance committee. Motion by Director Vargas, seconded by Director Munoz. Do I have any public comment? Mr. Pacheco.
Yeah, on these grievances, because I did file a grievance, but these guys don't follow their rules either. And I'm getting back to you. Because if the web says they're gonna get 7 days, and it's been over 7 days. The person that's being grieved, do they get notice? I mean, isn't that in the Constitution that you should be able to face your accuser and what you're being accused of? I don't know if this person has even been notified of what he's been accused of. Thank you.
Public comment, please.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes. Again, I think I'd like to see the board members here, and nice to see smiles, but I hope I'm not seeing smirks, because what I saw happen in the past was blatant character assassination of a board member. And tonight, if this meeting was conducted in a way that another board member was voted, was admonished for, whatever term you want to use, then it's all on you who voted against him. Okay? If the comments come up or any email surface, and people know those emails are out there, you just speak up now. Because in a sense, you're an accessory. Okay? We're consistency and due process. And we have the right stakeholder to question and formally request from each one of you emails. One thing you should be taught, emails are public records. And we can demand them from each one of you. okay?
Do I have any
So the
board
fact-
comment?
no,
Thank you
excuse
very
me,
much.
You can rule me out, board, but I'm gonna
Thank you
finish.
very much. Could
We
I,
are going
board
to
comment?
the process, and we will have emails
Mr. Lopez?
from each one of you on that.
The current case regarding discovery of public officials' emails is still in Supreme Court. So until said case, San Jose versus John Doe or Jane Doe, is decided, public officials shall not distribute or give any emails in discovery.
Thank you. Do I have any other board comment? Director Corzantes?
On the item motion to move this item to 7, I think we should just hear it right now. I think we should hear it right now.
It's 9 o'clock and you want the entire grievance heard without anybody
Well, you're
being
leaving at 9
notified.
o'clock and the next chain of command could take over. But I think we should hear it right now.
I have a motion on the table to move this down to the ad hoc grievance committee.
And I disagree because I want to hear it right now because some board members would like to know. They've been questioning and we weren't able to discuss that earlier because we were not able to. But now, since we're able to discuss it, we can.
Okay, we are actually, I made it very clear to you guys that I actually needed to leave tonight. We have a motion on the table. We are past 9 o'clock. I need either to vote on this motion or I need a motion to extend by a few minutes or extend by a lot. But we do have to leave by 9:30 and our meeting ended at 9:02, but I actually have an active motion on the table. So seeing as it's 9 o'clock, I'm just going to call for a vote. Is that a motion? You have a motion to,
Was hers an official motion as well?
No,
No, that was my comment.
That was a comment.
Letting my colleagues know not to send it to a committee to hear it now. And we're on a motion to send it to a committee.
I mean, it's fundamentally impossible for us to hear it now. I mean, Mr. Chavez isn't here, the paperwork isn't here. I mean, it would be a violation of our bylaws, it would create another grievance. We simply, on many levels, can't do that.
So we don't have the paperwork. Who was supposed to prepare the paperwork when the grievance is on the agenda?
Michelle, you know our bylaws, we have to create an ad hoc grievance committee. I don't know, I'm not quite sure what you're.
Power Lake sent us an email how to go about it with 3 things. Because it went through with Power Lake. Power Lake put it on our agenda.
And Power LA doesn't put anything on our agenda. I put things on.
No,
the
yeah, they
agenda.
do. Yeah, they do. Empower Lake gave this to us and said it's going to be on our agenda. The email says that. It's going to be on, we have to hear it and we have 90 days, or I think 60 days to hear it. So executive committee put it on the agenda. Yes, we
Okay.
did. So my question is, if we as executive committee voted to be on it, who is in charge to prepare the paperwork to hear this grievance if the board does take a stand to hear it right now? Obviously, if not, then we send it to a committee. But if the board does say, yeah, you know what, we want to hear this, this is interesting, who would have that paperwork? Would that be you as the chair?
I mean, theoretically, I wouldn't have prepared it simply because it would be a violation of our bylaws. I mean, I could prepare a motion for the board to write me a check for $10,000, but that would be a violation of state law. But it would also be a violation of our bylaws. So needless to say, I didn't prepare a motion to write a check for me for $10,000.
Continue how you're doing it. That's fine.
You know.
Do whatever you want. That's fine.
Director Manzano, I'm not calling any more public comment unless it's a motion to extend.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to extend the meeting by 10 minutes. Right now, the time is 9:04.
I've got a motion to extend. Do I have a second? I've got a motion and a second from Director Munoz. All in favor to extend? Can I get an aye?
Aye.
I'm actually going to do hand count because I can't tell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And nay? 1, 2, 3, 4. The motion passes. We're extended until 9:14. I'm not calling for any more board comment on this, however. I am actually going to call for a vote on Director moving stakeholder Ruben Chavez's grievances down to the ad hoc grievance committee. And I have a motion from Director Vargas, a second from Director Munoz. I'm going to do a roll call vote. Director Guzman? Director Verdugo has now left. Director Chervillis is absent as well. Sorry guys, this form isn't great. Director Lopez? It's a motion to move the grievance down to the ad hoc committee. Myself, yes. Director Sandoval? Director Leo? Director Flores?
Yes.
Director Vargas?
Yes.
Director Cruz?
Yes.
Director Corzantes?
No.
Director Carrillo?
Yes.
Director Manzano?
No.
Director Munoz?
Yes.
9, 2. Oh, sorry, that was. With a vote of 9 to 2 to 1, this motion passes, and that will go down to the ad hoc grievance committee. Just discussion, possible action regarding the appointment of a budget representative. Do I have any volunteers to be a budget representative? Remember, guys, if you can call this. You can call for an adjournment whenever you want.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I've got a motion to adjourn. I've got a second from. Was that Kathy? Got a motion to adjourn from Director Vargas, a second from Director Leal. Do I have any abstentions? Do I have any nays? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 9:08.